I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over your son.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Trick Nick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am your host, Manningsman. It is the big show. It is indeed a Friday. As usual, when we begin our programs, we want to make sure that we take time out to give thanks to the Most High God, the one who is the creator of the heavens and the earth. He keeps us. He never slumbers and he never sleeps. We always say, take a moment or two to give thanks for life. We didn't have to be here, but we are. And so we are forever grateful. And we continue to look to the hills from whence cometh our help. Our help comes from the Lord who made the heavens and the earth. Yes. So again, love God and love people. That's the biggest success you will have in life. It's not the acquisition of things, although there's a place for having wealth and all of that. It is loving God and loving people. Because if we gain all of these things and we don't love God and love people, then what is the purpose of life, really? Understand me? Big up on yourself, you know. Yes! You know? Yeah, man. It is the big show again. It is Super Friday. What do we do on Super Friday? We hit the like button, we subscribe, and we share. You know how it is. I don't stop the show every day at every moment and say, please subscribe and like. Listen, you love the show, you hit the like button. You subscribe, you share the content. It is Super Friday, and on Super Friday, we ask our members, our regular viewers, to support the work of I Am Sure Sports. Again, what the proceeds of this channel goes towards helping people in need. So when you give a super sticker and a super chat, those things go towards that, all right? It's not the enrichment of the persons who operate the channel. It is to be a blessing to other people because we are blessed to be a blessing. So big up Mark Lewis, up and running, Eagle Republic, Siobhan Peart, Ricardo Baggio, and all the other people who are out there right now. Bless up on yourself, don't stress up on yourself. But today is a very special day, right? I have a very, very special person who is going to be with us to share with us, I think, an epic, just transformational, impactful, purpose-driven story is that I'm sure is that it can be a blessing to you and of benefit to you. So who have ears to hear what is being shared and see how you can take the transferable principles and apply them to your life. You know him very well. You have seen him on these platforms. He's creating waves in the youth football, saying he is a Confed chairman in Jamaica's football, former national player. He has played in Europe, husband of one wife. You understand me? And 3 kids. I don't know if I should say and counting. You understand me? Beautiful wife, beautiful children. He is also a real estate investor. He's also a content creator. He's a coach. He's a businessman. He is a motivational speaker. I mean, there are so many things. He has so many, accolades and stuff. But I mean, yeah. But you know him as Errol, and we're gonna get the name right. Errol Stevens, not with P-H-E-N. It's Steve with an S at the end. So if you have Steve, that is one. You have more than 2. It is Stevens. So it's Errol Stevens, not with the P-H, right? Not Stevenson, Stevens. Call the man name right. You understand me? Let's invite and welcome our friend, Mr. Errol Stevens. Welcome, my friend. Hope I did justice to you by that elaborate introduction.
To be honest, afternoon to your viewers. I don't want to question the cans, but that was probably the best introduction I've ever received. Especially with the name. I always keep the name mix up or incorrect. So yeah, man.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad that I was able to get it right this time. Yes, just like Tanya Stevens. Yes, don't know if they are related. You understand me? But there we go. Again, welcome, Errol. I know you have been on social media just on your own platform and other platforms, but we are here for a very special reason because outside of all that I've said, you're also an author. And I think this is your second book.
Yes.
Your second. Yeah, you have written 2 books, right? One is more like an autobiography. Or they kind of have, both of them kind of have different aspects of your life journey in those things, right? So first I want you to begin because we're going to start at this part and then track all the way back. What is the inspiration first and foremost in you coming up with the first book and then have the drive to even do a second one when many people can't even begin the introduction of the first one?
To be honest, I think it's more of leaving something behind. I've always said it. Growing up, I always looked to my parents. I always talked to my grandfather to try to pick his brain about his life experience. Because I think from a tender age, I've always had a forward-thinking mindset. I've always been able to stay humble and put things down. Like them say, 1-1 cocoa field basket, I could have always put 1-1 down if more and get to 10. I could have humbled myself that much. So growing up, my grandfather used to always pick him brain how his experience with life. Any situation that I would be facing, I would lean on him for wisdom. And when I had my first son, it used to, all right, I'm somebody I've never shared it before, but I'm very scared of flights. I hate flying. And because in the football career, you fly so much, most of the time when I would leave my family, I would always have that fear, say, what if this plane drop out of the sky today? I could just leave my son so young and everything. So I always say, let me write a book that if one day I leave the earth, he has something to lean on. Yeah, so.
Okay. Yeah. That's interesting though. That you played professionally and internationally with a fear of flying.
Yeah, man, I hate flying. I wish I could go take a ship everywhere.
Oh, geez. You know that I like flying more than on the ship. I just think like the sea is not the safest place. You understand me? Too many movies, what they call them, Jaws. I
Yeah,
just
man, yeah, man, yeah, man. But for me, when I like the plane, I don't know why. The turbulence for the plane, I just like to feel my foot on the ground or something solid.
Yeah, wonderful. All right. So the first book, just tell us a little bit about the first book you did, when it was published. What is that first book about, and what has been the feedback where that is concerned for those persons who have not had a copy already? Just tell us a little bit about it, and what was the inspiration that led you outside of boy, I wanted to leave something behind for my kids. But as you pen those words, which portrays your journey in words, what were some of the driving factors or forces behind all of that?
Well, from my upbringing, growing up in, I would say, Portmore Lane, close to Newland in Portmore, from the other end of living in Seaview Garden, wasn't always a comfortable upbringing in terms of the football experience with the racism and the whole struggle of making it as a football player, because not everybody get the fairy tale chance to make it as a football player. Some of us have to go through some really tough ups and downs. And just my experience of leaving Jamaica, going to other countries, sleeping on the floor for 6 months, going through a whole heap of tribulation. I just wanted to document that, to let people know that the journey is not as easy as we want to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just wanted people to see that you can actually go through all the hardship and still come out with something.
Yeah. So even while in Europe, you mentioned that you had experiences where you slept on the floor. You had experience where you had racism, experiences with racism and stuff. So tell us a little bit about that and how you were able to navigate that and stay focused, because many persons probably have just given up and say, you know what, I'm heading back home. But what kept you facing some of those difficult experiences?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think it's God. I was raised in, as I said, I can always lean on my grandfather and my grandmother. They never let me miss a Sunday service. They never miss church on Friday. I used to hate church growing up because they would let me attend every aspects of church, choir practice, everything. So I think I had a strong faith from the beginning, because I think most of what I've been through, I should have given up on football a long time. And multiple times I've given up and I could still believe and find the faith. I remember when we went to Thailand, me, Dickie Williams, and Kemar Daly. And when they said they were going to go home, I tell them that I'm not going home because I don't have nothing to come back to. Because even though life looks so fiery now, those days I didn't have anything. I think playing even in the local Premier League, I think the highest salary I received before that was probably 30,000 Jamaican. And that was like maybe 200 US at the time. So to come back home to that as a 26, 27-year-old, it didn't make any sense to me. So when I signed in Thailand, I was sleeping on 2 mats that was in the building that my boss put me in. And I was a national player at the time. And
Whoa.
yeah, man, and all of that never fazed me. As I said, I was in the national team that time. Dickie Williams was in the national team. Kemar Daly was in the national team. Kemar just left England that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and all of us were in charge. And even when I told Dickie I was going to stay, he looked at me like my man.
So how long did you end up staying before you transitioned from there?
I stayed in Thailand a year and a half before I went to Vietnam. But the first 6 months I had to sleep on a mat until things got better, where I could actually buy a bed, put in the building.
Wow. And then you left from Thailand and went to Vietnam. Was that experience any better? Or did you still have, just those difficult things that you had to go through and balance and play football at the same time? And being so far away, was that difficult for you to even be called up by the coaches? You can imagine a man playing in Thailand. I can just imagine, would the federation be willing to pay your airfare to fly all the way from Thailand to come and play a game, or from Vietnam? What was that like for you?
Well, if you look at it now, you and I coincidentally have worked in the national program together. And you have seen what it's like. I remember when I was a part of the 2014 World Cup qualifiers, and I spoke to Mr. Simpson about it at the time, that I was going. I had 2 contracts in front of me. I could have went back to Vietnam, and I could have went to Philadelphia Unions in the States at the time. But when you look at the income on both salaries, there was like a huge difference between both. But I knew that if I went to Vietnam, I would, like I said, you wouldn't get a national call again. But I was already up in age. I was at like 28 going 29. Didn't make any sense to me to stay
Go
in
to Philadelphia Union.
Yeah, at the time, because like I said, on the economic side of it, Jamaican players weren't respected that much when it comes to salary in the States. Most players who play in MLS or the USL will tell us is either the USL is like 1,000 plus at the time after tax, and it wasn't much difference in the MLS. So I just chose because like I said, the football career is so short.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you have to retire, and if you don't put yourself in a good position, then you see man by the time you reach 32, 33, people ask you what you do with all your money. And sometimes it's just the reality of life.
We're going to get to that. So how did you end up, because you also were in Europe proper for party. How did you end up like in Europe, and how different was that from, you know, those places in Asia?
All right, so I left first, I think in 2009 to go to Russia with Akeem Priestley.
Yeah.
He used to play with me at Harborview. So he came there. Yeah, man, he came there when I was there, and he said, "You don't think I should be in Jamaica?" So he just told his agent about me after seeing me train with him a few times, and I went to Russia. We actually went to Serbia first, and we got scouted by a team in Bosnia who wanted us, but then we decided we'd go to Russia. I went to Russia for 3 weeks and I signed after doing the trial. And I was there for 6 months, and I left 2 months before the contract was up because of all the racism that I was going through. And I actually got chased down when leaving the supermarket one afternoon.
Like when I say chased down, like people?
Like man run me down to beat me up.
What?
Yeah.
So they didn't know that you're a footballer. Which club were you at that time?
FC Himki in the Premier League.
In the Premier League?
In the Premier League.
Whoa. Yeah. How did that make you feel?
Well, 2000, how old was I at that time? I think I was around 21 going 22, so fairly young. And the afternoon when I ran back to the hotel, and I was still in a state of shock to somewhat. And when I went on YouTube and typed in racism in Russia, I could see a lot of African students talking about it's not safe to go outside by yourself. Because prior to that, I had no idea or no experience of that. So I was always going to this corner store a few blocks down by myself. But they were saying on YouTube it's not safe. So it just happened to me that afternoon. And after going outside a few more times, I just couldn't deal with it anymore. It was very traumatizing mentally, being 21 at the time.
Yeah, the only Jamaican at that time. Hakim was still there?
No, Hakim went to Azerbaijan.
Okay. Yes, and you stayed in Russia?
Yeah, right. I stayed in Russia.
And so where did you move? Once that incident happened, you left the contract 2 months before time. Where did you go? That's when you went to?
No, that's when I came back home to Jamaica, and I stepped out of football for almost a year because of the whole scenario.
Oh, it was that difficult for you to deal with?
Yeah, man, because...
It is out of that story you did the second book, though.
Some of the second book, I think the second book was some of that and more so the financial aspect of it.
Yeah, okay. Because the first book is about just your early beginnings into football and stuff.
And some of Russia, yes.
Okay. Because I want people to know about the book, you know, about what's the title. So tell them the title of the first book. For those of you who have not yet gotten a copy, you need to go and get a copy of it. Tell them about
it's on Amazon. If you search on Amazon, you can search Errol Stevens To Hell and Back. That's the
name of the first book.
First book, yeah.
Right. All right. To Hell and Back, which includes some of that the experience in Russia, coming back to Jamaica, so traumatized that you took a year out of the sport, got back involved, played in Jamaica, and then you move overseas again.
Yeah.
All right. And where did you move to the second time now?
After that, I went to Vietnam.
Oh, okay. So normal. So also you left Jamaica to Thailand, and then from Thailand to Vietnam.
No, I had 2 stints in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you went to Vietnam first, then to Thailand, then back to Vietnam.
Yes.
Okay. And now, with all of this, right? Because you how you have, and I mean, because I know you, I see how you you live to an extent, not in terms of every detail of your life, but we relate. So at what point of your life did you have this sort of interaction with a person or an experience that make you so frugal and prudent in terms of financial management? And I ask that because yesterday I was after a football match and I was talking to a coach about providing financial literature to players in the league so that when 33 comes, they can have a comfortable life. If they are not at the top of their game, earning good salaries, which means what are they doing now with the resources that they are getting to prepare them for that? What experience kind of triggered something in you to put you in the place where you have been able to do all you have been doing for your family and just for yourself?
I think the biggest wake-up call, because as I said, we're all human. And just like any other, I don't think I'm different from any other football players in the league. I think people that see me now see the end product. But people who know me long time would know that while I was playing, I was at every party, every drum that beat, every club that had music, I was there. And I think when I came back from Russia, I came back with some money. And, during that time when Carter sing the song, I Want $1 Million by a Morning, it's
well,
like...
I don't know it still enough.
You don't know it. But it was in that era. And when I was in Russia, I made some money and I felt like, I felt like I had money because back then you think $1 million was the money.
Yeah.
And I remember coming back and I buy a car and I was all over the place. And then I got a knee injury when I was playing in the World Cup qualifiers. That's why I didn't end up completing the qualifiers. And I was out for 9 months. And that was when I realized that money is nothing. Because it took me 9 months to lose everything that I had saved up. Because the only income that I had was football. So as soon as I got injured and I couldn't play anymore and no money was coming in, I was like, me not all that. So these things can really stop. So that was the first. I sit out 9 months with a knee injury, did the operation, and then that's when I went back to Thailand. And right prior to that, I said, God, if you give me one more chance, I don't waste no more money.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I literally said that to him. I said, if you give me one more chance, we'll go back to play. Because during that, I teared my meniscus and my cartilage, knee mash up, right? Yeah, like the latter part of my career, I was always all over the place on the field. And I think after the knee surgery, I became more number 9 in my game. I had to change my game because I wasn't that mobile. Yeah, so I think that injury and that experience, after that I said, every pay I got paid, I just save my money. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I don't buy anything. Zero. Everything that I got paid. Because as footballer, you get bonus. And I think I spent my latter part of my career just living off bonuses. Every dollar I would just save. And I didn't have any idea at the time about real estate or anything of that sort. I was just saving. But I knew that I wanted to do something that would be outside of football because I said if I stop playing again, the money would go away again.
Yeah. So you started saving your money, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Not thinking about investing.
Mm-mm.
All right. So at what point? So now tell us how you transition to now. I need to buy a house. I need to begin to own properties. I need to begin to make my money start working for me. Right? I need to, you understand me? Yeah, I need to have investment. How did that come about? Because it's so uncharacteristic. One, of a footballer in general, and two, this is not the normal story that people hear of Jamaican footballers.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so, yeah.
To walk you through that, all right. So it comes with a lot of things. So being in Asia, the whole experience over there is completely different from living in Jamaica. Like I said, I am fortunate to most of my career I've spent overseas. Even my life, I've been overseas. I spent 5 years in Vietnam, 7 years in Thailand. And the whole culture in Asia is all about
12 years and close to a year in Russia.
Yeah, man, and close to a year in Russia. So
that's 13 years of your career overseas.
Yes. So a lot of customs in terms of in Asia, all my teammates, everything is family for them. everything is family. If we finish a game, everybody hang out, the wife, the kids, everybody did it. And if we get some time off and then I hang out family again. So it's like I start to see a different aspect because me grew up in a single parent home. And I realize that them everything a family. Like my teammate they do nothing when not include them family. If they go eat family, everything family. So while doing that, when I came back home, naturally I have a wife, I have a child, I want something to live. So I looked into getting a home for myself. While doing that, I think it was a scenario where I was speaking with the realtor and I said, what do you think about like investing in property? And he was like, yeah, it's a good idea. But at the time, I wasn't sure. But he brought me down here in Senton and he brought me to the apartment complex at Fisherman Point.
Yeah.
And when I saw the building, I remember the day we pulled up at the building, I thought it was like a hotel. I didn't know like people own because like I said, I am from
It's Sandcastles?
Fisherman Point.
Fisherman Point. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, right in the middle of Orchards.
Yeah, man.
And I still want people to remember my background because just like you said, I grew up at Greater Portmore, I got Greater Portmore High School. I am, I don't have no background in the finances, I don't know nothing about none of that. But like I said, he showed me the complex. At the time, I didn't even know the beach was around the other side because I'm from Portmore. The only time we stop in Orchards is when we used to play for like Tivoli and we are going Moby, I would stop at Main Street, KFC. That's all I know about Orchard. I knew nothing about it wasn't. So it was just all by God. We got an apartment. He showed me it, I like it, I see the pool. Coincidentally, there was a guest inside the apartment that wasn't supposed to be there. Yeah. Like we were supposed to view it with nobody inside. And there was a lady inside. And when she told me how much she was paying to stay there for the 3 weeks, but I said, wait, I can't survive off of this man. Based off of what she was paying. Like, I said, if I stop playing, I could have feed my family halfway. She paid. So I said, all right.
Oh, what that person was paying to stay at the apartment.
Yes.
If you own the apartment and that was being paid to you, oh,
I could feed my family. That was what I was looking at. Yeah. And then everything changed from that. From that moment, I get the apartment and then like I start see like, whoa, you start see a different way of thinking. Like my whole mindset start change. Like, no, I don't need money. I need things that can make me money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you need to say that against the people because a lot of people believe that they need more money, because right? While there's a place for that. But if you have things that can generate income, it's way better than to just having some income in your hand, some money in your hand. If you can create income generating.
Yeah, man, if you can create passive income and things that can make you make money without you physically have to always be there, I think is one of the most overrated statements, but it's actually true. If you can find, it doesn't have to be a house. You have people who own 4 or 5 taxis on the road and them not drive them every day and they're making money. So you just have to think outside of the box. Like start thinking how you can start. It's almost like same with YouTube and other platforms. You don't have to always be on here to make money. The videos can make money when you're not there. So, and just to elaborate, even with the YouTube, it wasn't something that I have, like I said, I have YouTube channels. Yeah. And at no point it was ever about money. It was about getting content for the family, people like it. Because I think once you do it from a good point, people gravitate towards it. Yeah. So all of that was just.
So that was your first acquisition in terms of property, and it was more income generating.
Yes.
Property, which I want people to know. So you never buy it because you were going to live in it.
No.
You bought it because you wanted to, you understand me, to make it available for other persons that could make it. Yes. And then you went on and you have also acquired more property. Why invest in real estate?
Number one, it always appreciates, well, most of the time, it appreciates in value. Like, I don't think there's anything else that goes up like the price of housing.
Especially in Senton.
Especially in Senton. It is, to be honest, I think the apartment has probably doubled or almost tripled what I got it for at the time. So you can't lose, and it also creates income monthly. So that was a no-brainer for me. Yeah. In terms of,
No, your wife's, I know they call her Swaggy. Beautiful wife, beautiful family. Was it difficult for her to because, first, it just must be amazing how you guys met and came together, because remember, you had an experience in Russia that could have made you like have a complete hate for everything. How did you? What happened that you could get to the place that you'd end up falling in love with someone from a place that you had such an experience to build a family? Yes.
Yeah. All right. So in Russia, the thing what changed me, a lot of people would think I would grow more hate
Yeah.
for the other race. So if I actually find more love, and I'm say, all right, when I came back from Russia, if you ask any of my friends that I grew up with, me used to walk around, like me say, I'm out of football for a year. Me used to walk around in my community and preach to my brethren them, say if we live better with each other, because nobody no love you. Like me literally have friends where most of my friends that I grew up with, probably not most, but probably half of them probably dead already. In terms of between Seaview or between Greater Portman I grew up with. And most of the time a violence between friends. Because most of my friends when pass away, other friends harm them. I'm used to sit down and talk to them about it. So it's like, as I said, I get so much in terms of my consciousness where that's why I can be here today and nothing bother me. And nothing has changed. If you see me, most people will see me outside expect to see this hype up Errol or this. No. Still keep my foot on the ground because I know say nothing no more important than life. So even with my wife, she never have nothing much. Me, the time we meet, like until I used to sleep on the mat, that was when we meet Swaggy.
That's in Thailand?
That's in Thailand. Yeah, Swaggy come to me in Thailand. In the same apartment with me there.
Yeah. Okay. So she actually, you came back from Russia to Jamaica.
Yeah.
All right. And because you were in contact with each other.
No, we met when I was in Thailand, but because I was on a Russian platform. Yeah, I was on a Russian platform the whole time. So I met Swaggy, and to be honest, when I met Swaggy was probably in a better situation than me. Yeah, because Swaggy come from a stable background, so she not short or nothing. Yeah.
Okay, and she came to Thailand.
And she was only supposed to come for like a week and a half.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to figure out is because now you're back overseas played and you had that experience. You must have gotten over the whole experience and have matured in your own self, like I said, to be able to even fathom the idea of talking to someone, from that sort of a background. I mean, which is tremendous about your growth. And some of this is also in the book for people who don't know, right?
Yeah, man, it's in the book.
Some of this is in the book. And tell them the name of the book again because we don't want them to forget the name of the book,
Well, there's Errol Stevens to Hell and Back, and there's Life with the Stevens, Finding Financial Independence. So if anybody wants to know the whole journey of the whole, like I said, the Airbnb, the investments, all of it is in the book.
Right. So I don't have you been. We have Cranky from Cranky Life. He views himself as a financial guru, but I call him the financial.
No, I'm a regular everyday citizen trying to survive. I'm not financial guru.
So because we have this conversation, I think it is important. Errol, and before I have Karki come on and ask you a couple of questions, they wanted to know about food from Thailand and stuff. But what I want to ask you is this. No, with your type of financial thinking and what I would say success, because you're applying the right principles. What is happening with so many other Jamaican footballers? What is the difference? Why we're not seeing some of these practices in their own life, and what can you do about it?
To be honest, I've mentored a few. To be honest, I think the root of it is the culture. I think we have a culture where everything's around partying and the lifestyle. I don't want to be just partying, but the lifestyle. Yeah. I think in order to change everything else, you have to change your lifestyle. So the whole saving is not saying you can't party and save, but also even another big factor is how much are the players making locally to even save. Because not a lot of players are making good income, even in the Premier League currently. So that's another burden. They have monthly expense, they have family. Even for me personally, I didn't have my first child till I was almost 29 thereabout. So that's another thing. Most of the players them nowadays, by the time they hit 20, they already have 1 or 2 kids already, and you don't know till you know how expensive kids are. So you see it and you want it, and when you get it, you have to run with it because it's such a heavy burden to carry. Especially if you want to be a great father. and not just a father.
Yeah.
Leave a thing and gone. Yeah.
I'm glad you
All right.
caveat that one, actually. I'm glad you caveat that one because a lot of them just forsake that responsibility.
Yeah, so it's not. There's so many different ingredients to the problem. Yeah.
All right, Cranky, go ahead. Let me
Said Manningsman, a query for you concerning, there are professional leagues across the world where they're bringing ex-players or people with certain skill sets to talk to when you first go into the league to have those discussions. And then periodically they may come in to have conversation with you about a variety of things, including finances, basic finance, basic way of living, the obstacles you're going to face as you go through the process, the challenge you're going to face, whether it's family, friends, etc. Do you think the JPL and others would benefit from something like that? Or the players in those leagues?
To be honest, if I'm being totally honest, I think most people don't want smart players. Yeah, because smart players demand more and ask for more, and I think it's easier to. I don't even want to go there, but yeah, it's more easier to take advantage of somebody if they lack education or they lack knowledge. So I'm not saying the JPL wouldn't want it, but if you had every player thinking the way I think, then you'd have a problem.
Yeah, but the intellect also translates on the field of play. It just doesn't sit in negotiation of contracts. It actually helps you evolve and get better as a person holistically, which would benefit you on the field of play. So the question is, I understand the concept you're saying, and we saw that with the JFF when years ago they were negotiating with Damian Lowe, which was publicized. I think that has changed over time because the players have gotten smarter over time, right? They become much more informed. And we should be, as a country, from their kid, right, pushing for them to be smart.
Yeah, I think smarter players would then equal better performances on the pitch.
Of course.
Yeah, if you look on it holistically, yes, players who, not saying players because not all the time players who are better paid perform better because sometimes you give them more and they abuse it. Right? So there's a balance. But yeah, I think if the players are better paid, then you'd be more professional naturally, and you'd be, because a lot of the players have second jobs. I know a lot of players in the league who do other stuff outside of football, so that is also another issue.
Yeah. So do you believe, because you're one of the conference chairman, do you believe we can get to a place where the teams in our league, for example, can pay good enough salaries so one players don't have to seek second jobs? That's one aspect of it, right? So that they don't have to seek second jobs, and the education is provided, so we have more what we deem as successful footballers in terms of their after football life, probably to the same numbers of track and field people, because we kind of find that more track and field people at the end of their track and field career are in better standing than people who play football. Is that some stereotype? I don't know, but I see. What do you think, Crank? I don't know.
Well, track and field people historically didn't make any money until more of late, right? And I've dealt with people in track and field who may have run, say, on the relay for their country. They don't end up in the better places when they retire. You may see some, for the ones in Jamaica, a lot of them get scholarship to the US. They may take advantage of the education they get when they come to the US. But if I go to England, for example, where somebody don't come to the US, it's a similar situation as you see in other sports, where their careers are over, they don't know where to go, they ran until they were 30. Not every athlete, track and field on the circuit, make a lot of money. Right? What you see as norm is not the norm. I do think the education, though, has to change about how we educate our sports people, because when you're good at sports, you get privileges. One of those privileges, you get not to have to do your schoolwork like other normal students do, and that needs to change.
Yeah, and I want them to know, Errol, and you can explain this to them, because it doesn't mean you have to go to university, right? No. Because some people believe to be financially literate, you need university knowledge. So I want you to talk to them about you, because you are doing this without like a degree. Not people, and please do not go away and say.
So let me say this, man, before you go further, man. Errol had an advantage. So I've read Herald history, actually. Wasn't your dad an accountant, Errol?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So he had that in the household.
So if we were to go that deep, all right. So I left high school. Like I said, I went to Greater High School, but like you said, my father owns an accounting firm, and I worked with my dad for 7 years. So that also played a huge part in my thinking as well. Yeah, the whole financial aspects of things, budgeting, accounts. So that also plays a part.
So without you learned the financial principles, though you weren't in formal university.
Yes, so I would say that. Yeah, because I can't discredit. But not only, even working there just made me more solid in terms of my administrative side of stuff. Even like I said, the way I negotiated contracts are the way, because I've seen it firsthand. And I think that gave me the edge over the average player.
So the misconceptions that you have to go to college, and a lot of people in Jamaica who did well in the early days didn't go to university. UE only had so much space, You only had UE and CAS. You didn't have that much space. So people could be brilliant. They couldn't afford to go to university. They may have transitioned to the workplace. And as Errol is alluding to, he could have become a chartered accountant through the process of not going to university and still be functioning like any person who went to a university.
It is true. Well, I actually started my ACCA, but I stopped when I got into Russia. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The next question, Cranky.
Well, as you know, I always have a lot of questions. I'll say this, Errol. So we can talk about the finance and we can talk about the football, but to me, they're not mutually exclusive, right? In terms of what is the JFF, how they fund themselves, what is the teams, how they fund themselves, what is the parish associations, how they fund themselves. So as you know, are part of I'm gonna call it the administration, and you take a step back and think about your role, where you come from, how do you think your experience can add value to the organization and help it to move forward? Especially since you were a player who experienced some of in a difficult period, frankly, some of the challenges that what players encounter that can inform the administration and help them be better.
Well, to be honest, in my stints thus far, I think I've been able to do just that. I've been on 3 trips so far, even with the men's team. And I think the relationship between the administration and the players has improved, like, hugely. In terms of, I remember in our days, we'd never see a HOD or the JFF president within the same reach of, let's say, a dinner room or day-to-day runnings of the team. And now it's almost every trip that I go on, whether it's me or whether it's another staff, I can see that relationship between the players and the JFF. That is not like, if you want to reach out to the JFF, there's not that bridge. So the persons are right there that you can, if you have an issue, you can pass it on to them and it gets to where it goes. So I think maybe within the last year, I haven't heard much disgruntled from the players. If you look at it, I think prior, every other campaign, you'd hear something. I think
was it mainly a money issue though? Because money talks, right? If you don't have money, things are not good. You're not going to be provided the resources you need. So was it a money issue? Because JFF had more resources now.
But I don't think it's just all right. I don't think it's money issues only, because there were things that the players would complain about more, that I actually think the JFF has made the right steps in adjusting them or addressing them. Whereas you don't find so many complaints prior to know. Like last year or maybe the last year and a half, there were a lot of noise around whether the male team or the girls team. I don't hear so much noise now because I think those issues are being addressed. Whereas maybe prior, there weren't that much emphasis on correcting them. I don't know why, for whatever reason.
Right. Well, part of it, I had discussion with a lot of people about this. The ego thing needs to go sometimes when you're negotiating, and when you're engaging on both sides, actually, especially sometimes with what I call the adults in the room. We had this discussion way back when with Dennis Chung and with Rudolph and others about the girls. And I thought it could have been better handled. Either side could be wrong, but somebody has to take the first step. And somebody has to go for a win-win versus a lose-lose situation. Right? Because it doesn't play out well in the public domain. If you think about your experience in Russia, what was that like?
Man, I think that's the toughest experience I've had in my life. It's the only, my wife is there, my kids are half Russian, and every time my kids go, I tell my wife, I've never been back to Russia. and my kids have been there 4 times, and I told her I'll never go back. But
Wow.
to be honest with you,
You have not gone back there? I thought you have gone back.
No, I never went back. My kids go there like almost every 2 years, and I've never been there. But like to be honest, my wife has never had the experience that I've had. So when she first started taking the kids, it was like, no man, don't worry, it'll be okay, because like something you tell somebody that there's a snake outside the door and they don't see it, because when they go out there, there's a snake too. So when I told her the first time, when my son went the last time,
careful of, sir, just be careful.
No, not being no man. It's just
of the analogy I use, I'm just
maybe that one was a little bit harsh.
But we understand.
But you understand this. So when I said to her that, I remember the last time she went and she called me and she said she would never take back Lionel. That's my oldest son. Because she took him to the park, and the comments that kids were making or adult males were making, because it's most of the males and kids, and kids will say what they hear or what adults say around them. So she came back like the way I was always feeling, and since that she said she wouldn't take him back. So she's
you know it's interesting, Errol, because for her, when you're part of an environment, people may make comments, you don't focus on it because it doesn't affect you. But now it's her son and her prized possession. It's a different acknowledgement, right?
Yes, it's
a different perspective.
Different perspective. Yeah. So that has changed.
Yeah, so how do you so as a father, because this is so important, right? I mean, because they are also Russian, a Russian Jamaican, or one is a Russian born in Russia.
No, both of them were born in Vietnam.
Vietnam. All right. So they are Vietnamese, Russian, Jamaican.
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So now, how do you, as a father, like, help them through this? Because it's not that they feel, maybe they feel more Jamaican than any of the other nationalities, but how do you help them to be who they are, facing something like that, and not being afraid of wanting to interact with people of that race per se? How as a father do you do that?
It's a thin line. To be honest, I've never had the talk with any of my kids as yet, because they're young and I don't want to impose, or I try to keep them in a safe space. But like I said, they're in Jamaica most of the time. And Jamaica, everybody are one. There's no discrimination per se to them. So they don't have an idea of what it's like being discriminated against at all. So I leave it at that until we get to that road. But definitely, if they're ever to go back at any point in time where they're older, I'll definitely have to have that conversation. Yeah. But no, how do I explain to a 9? Well, 9 is not too young. But how do I explain to a 9-year-old that in your mom's country they won't like you because you're darker than them? Yeah.
So was it overt in Russia when you were there?
No, you don't hear the man say that he had to run.
No, I missed part of the conversation. I apologize.
All right. Like I said, when I was there, I've played games where banana was thrown on the field. I've played games where, just like, I remember when I came back the first time and I spoke about that in Jamaica, and most people was like, oh, until Roberto Carlos went to Russia, Eto'o went to Russia, they had the same experience. So
why would black players want to play in Russia?
Yeah.
The same reason why everybody else leave them country to make money.
It's all about the money.
Yeah.
But some countries don't get that abuse, the overt abuse. You get abuse in it, but it's not overt.
Yeah, but the thing is, like I said, in football, is less than 1% make it. And not everybody's gonna get the chance. Like I tell people now, in my time, to get out of this country to go overseas was like, I don't even know what to say. It's like finding a diamond. Because to be honest, you used to hear about you need 70% of your national team games, and if in your national team for 2 years, all sorts, and yeah, the opportunities were just so limited. To me, the kids now have way more opportunity with social media and the accessibility to agents and the whole 9 yards. Yeah. In my time, if they told me to go to Africa, if they call me and say go to Africa, I'm there.
All right. So you had to experience it, because Well, I can understand because you said that the most money you have been paid to play football in Jamaica is $30,000 a month. Or
Yeah,
that was a
man.
day, for a day.
What's that in real? What's that in real money?
Back
$200?
then, that was probably like $200
For what? For like, that was that like for
for
a
the
day
month.
or a match?
For the month.
What do you mean for the month?
For the whole month. But to be honest, I don't want to say that now because I haven't asked any player of recent, but I know the players are not making any real. Like I said, if you're in a team, only the all right. When I was making that 30,000, maybe I was one of the best players in the team at the time.
So you probably were one of the highest paid.
Yeah, because there were players getting less than me. Hey,
Whoa.
I was at one of the biggest clubs in Jamaica, and I was getting the 30,000, and they would give me a $15,000 check, the 15 of the month, and then the end of the month, them giving the other 15,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, man. So it's like I said, don't beat the players too much locally. Sometimes, trust me, it's maybe the players who have a little name in the team and get some money, and the rest of the players probably have beat out anything them can get.
So that's a good transition actually, because the question that arises then, how do I improve the quality of the football and the players since the opportunities reside overseas? How do I do that in a material sense, not tangentially, to get the holistic program to be much better so the players can compete on a global basis?
To be honest, it starts at grassroots. And I think one of our biggest issues in Jamaica is that most clubs don't have a grassroots program. Like most of our big clubs, the biggest, like I said, I run the local Mount Pleasant, and I can tell you that the kids now are like from youth 7 all the way up. I think in Jamaica we start too late. Most kids start like really getting good training at 12 years old. And then you've wasted, if you start at 12, you probably waste 6 years that they could teach the kids development. Yeah. Because I have kids right now in Kingston, most of these youth leagues, like youth competitions, are played with some of the academies, Mount Pleasant, Ballers, Cafe. These clubs have 7-year-olds, 8, 9-year-olds with some tactical understanding of football, very technical for their age. And outside of that, like I said, if we had more of the Premier League clubs focusing on grassroots, we'd have a better end product.
Is that the JFA responsibility? Is that the club's responsibility? Is that the government responsibility? Or is it all the combination? Where does that reside to actually have really great grassroots construct to then allow people to matriculate through the process?
I think everybody that you just said. Because as I said, if we're copying all the big clubs in Europe, any club you call on in Europe, they have grassroots program coming right up. And we see it from Marcus Rashford to all of those, any player you can think about, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, all of them came through grassroots football. All of them started from very small age, come right up.
The problem is that we don't have any grass.
I know road seed. Because roots are loose.
We need to get some more grass in Jamaica or something. But the flip side to that, and then I'm going to come back to Cranky, is that so you had the racism end. No, there are many stuff about like even in Vietnam and match fixing, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that even players are scared because of the behind the scenes threats and stuff in terms of match fixing. So my question to you now is that was that your is it true? Is it a real thing in Vietnam? Like this person is saying, can you ask Errol about the prevalence of match fixing in Vietnam, if they're accurate? And if so, was he afraid of people behind the scenes?
No, I have to be honest, I wasn't privy to that at all. As I said, my Vietnamese is probably 10%. I didn't speak much. I had teammates that we couldn't communicate at all, but football did all the talking. I had only one job, and that was to make sure that at every half season, I had maybe a goal every other game in order to keep my job. Because that is the thing with Southeast Asia football. Foreigners are only brought in to score goals because of our strength, size, and speed. And if by half season, which normally my seasons had 26 games, and by half season I played 13 games, and the boss would call me in the office and say, Stevens, how many goals you have now? And if it didn't add up, you just get another striker. And I went through that for 5 years. Where I think that is the big difference. I think that is what I learned in Asia, that you have to perform every game. And there was no, like locally, you can have strikers that play whole season and play 30 at game and score 5 goals and then still have them job the next season.
But yeah, but Errol, you know, the other thing too, didn't you being so far away from the football, you while you were playing for the national team, you were just always in and out. Was it because of distance?
Yeah, man, it was more so distance. Because like I said, I remember when I spoke to Mr. Simpson during that time going to Vietnam, I knew that it would be difficult to get a national call up if I went that far. Because you know the budget restraint already. Like to fly from Asia is almost 3,000 US back and forth. So, but like I said, the benefits of playing over there were it's almost like when you see what you call him, what that Chelsea player will if Chelsea go out China, Oscar, Hulk, all of these players they leave because they want to change their life.
Yeah, talk about real money now.
Yeah,
real
you
money.
want So if it mean that me have to go somewhere when that was one thing we used to always say. If I have to go somewhere where nobody sees me, where nobody knows Errol Stevens, if you don't really follow football, I can live with that. But when I finish with football, I most can take care of myself.
Yeah.
So you're almost sacrificing the national your ability to play for the national team for your personal, right? For your personal situation because the country can afford to track you or support you or bring you back to be part of the program, but you have to make a living for yourself and your family.
Yeah, because it made more sense to me that way. Because like I said, I saw the avenue that we had that time was the MLS. And I saw players, like I said, I hate to bash, I'm not bashing any player, but I've seen players play in the MLS and when it finished, nothing at all. All of us are players. We play together, we are brothers, we play together from most players that I play with, we play against each other from under 15 in a Kingston, come all the way up. We're on the same team or against each other. And I've seen it. So it was just my wake-up call to say, hey, I'm not going to the same boat. Like back then, it was all...
But some players are able to navigate that, right? Look at Damian Lowe, for example. He went to Egypt. Mm-hmm. He's now in the Middle East, right? So some players seem like they're able to navigate that. For others, maybe a little more difficult. Because someone in Serbia now, for example, it may be very difficult unless the coach is watching Y Scout or somebody's advocating for them. So do you need to have an advocator in the JFF to say, you know what, we need to call Errol, for example, or call XYZ?
Yeah, man. But Damian's situation is different because Damian had like crazy caps. He's the captain before. Yeah, in my time, that was when I was just coming on the scene. Like 2012 was when I played and everybody said, oh, this kid is good. And then I just went off the radar again. Boop, gone.
Yeah. You played with Demar Phillips as well, right?
Yeah, I played Demar Phillips, Ricardo Fuller, Marlon King. So I had, they were good players right across the board.
How do you?
So I have a question. Go ahead, management. Go ahead.
Right.
I have a question for you. Why don't we produce better midfielders? No. I'm dead. Okay, think about all the players you just mentioned. They're forwards. Mm-hmm. Right, Damian's a defender. Mm-hmm. We don't produce any exceptional midfielders. Period. You go back to the history of Jamaica football.
Rudolph.
We produce a midfielder. Rudolph is a decent CDM. But I mean, if you think about Fuller, or think about the players you want to think about, right? If you think about Fuller, for example, Bibby, defender, Fuller, forward, Shelton, forward. You go through the list of players. Mm-hmm. It's hard to name a attacking midfielder, 8, even 6 they say are exceptional.
All right. So I remember my one specific game that we played. We played South Korea in South Korea. And every time we had the ball, they would press us very high up and we couldn't keep the ball as a team. And like I said, because of my experience playing everywhere, like I said, when I was in Russia, I used to see the 6-year-olds coming to train. I think, honestly, for me, looking at my upbringing, I think we lacked a lot of, like I said, the foundation wasn't there. Like I tell you, most teams in Jamaica, and I can tell you, the teams, the friends I have, people tell you, if you press the Jamaican teams, you get the ball. Because technically, we're not technically good enough to keep the ball. I'm not saying no. If you look, no, we have a better, like Ethan Pinnock and these guys, they can manage the ball. Like, and sometimes still, if you come against the Mexico and the USA, we still struggle to keep possession of the ball, which I think...
Yeah, we don't do good on the...
we don't. And like I said, as a player, I can say that openly. As a player, like, I used to be on the field and say, yo, like, why we can't keep the ball right every time? And I'm very technical and I don't panic on the ball. I can tell you that for sure. And not praise myself, but in general, I think we lack that technical ability because we don't get, like I said, most of our players come through the schoolboy system and it's all about winning. Like, I can critique something. Like they say, you have a thing called SWOT analysis. If I SWOT Jamaica football, I think we lack the foundation of the game.
So is that being discussed? Well, I don't want to give away any inside information, but is not that being discussed in the JFF? We talk about grassroots football, what we need to do, the TDS program, things of that nature, to really develop the technical aspect of the player, to allow them when they matriculate, I just say, to be comfortable in difficult situations and be comfortable with the ball and be able to play when under pressure. I'll give you an example. I watched Partey from Arsenal play. I'm an Arsenal fan, just like Manning's man. Extremely comfortable, right? You're Arsenal fan too?
No, I'm a Man U fan.
Okay, I sympathize with you. But I mean, he's extreme. I thought, why did JFA bring somebody like to Jamaica to conduct some clinics, for example? Right? This is a person who just, the brain is always working like a computer when he's playing. You can see it. You can see look away pass that he makes. People don't really like, he makes look away passes all the time to freeze the defender, freeze the opponent to get the ball into the space or in the hole. We got to think about how do we get coaches with that ability to bring that out of players.
Yeah. All right. So since you mentioned Germany, I've played with Germany. And like I said, you have players who are here who are technically, but like I said, we need a holistic build-up, not just like one or two players. Can all our players get comfortable technically with the ball? All right. Back in the days, people consider me as somebody who can handle the ball well, tight situations. If it's one or two defenders, we can't get rid of them. What if we had every player like a Germany? Yeah. And not just a rare situation where we have one. If all our players were technically sound. Yeah. So I think, that is what we're lacking.
But you had like Keith Kelly that time, but some of them never matriculated into the whole thing. But let me ask you this. So what is it the money why some of the players go to like these Asian, like the Vietnam, the Thailand, the India? Or is it that the football played in those leagues, is it better than what is played in the JPL? Or is it just the money? How do you compare? Because we don't get to watch what's happening in Vietnam, you know. Because have you ever seen Vietnam play a match yet, Cranky?
I know they play. I haven't watched them.
Yeah. Right. We know about Vietnam. We know about some Chuck Norris movie and
war and people that
and I was thinking Rambo, First Blood kind of a business. That's what we know about some of these places, you know.
They're doing a lot of manufacturing though. Don't knock Vietnam.
No, but that's
he's rolling.
I'm gonna tell you. Richard Edward Sharpman, I think Jamaica played Vietnam before. And they got and Jamaica lost 3-0. Yeah, in a friendly game. Sharpman will tell you, and that was before I went to Vietnam. Sharpman was at Albertville at the time. And when Sharpman come back to training, Sharpman used to tell me, say, bro, by the time you press the man in the ball gone somewhere already. The Vietnamese are very technical. They're smaller in size. All right. If you look at Japan, we could beat Japan 98 World Cup. And right now we couldn't play Japan even if Japan put a Z team on the field. It's just the Japanese players. No. I mean,
no. We played them. You remember we played them? When we play them? A few years ago. The under 23 team, and we couldn't touch the ball.
No, remember that. Listen, I can tell you, man. We played Japan and got, I think, how much we get? 14 or something like that. We got a big score from them.
Yeah.
And those were, I think that was our under 20, and they were using a younger team as well.
Yeah.
All right. And that is one of the things when you travel a lot in football. In Thailand, you could have 7 foreigners in a team. When I was in Thailand, I had 2 Japanese players on my team, and those guys were the best in every aspect of the game. Like, I had teammates where if they were outside of the box with enough time, the keeper have to be brilliant with the save. They could hit like the corner of the net 8 out of 10. And that comes from a lot of work. That doesn't just come overnight. Like I said, even though that I'm at Mount Pleasant, I spend so many time with the kids' IDP in terms of the individual development plan. Like, if I have a striker, I'm supposed to be sound as a striker. That if a ball come from a cross, you know the runner need to make to finish it. You need to know where to keep the ball outside of the box. Like, all of these little things come from when you focus on development and not just winning. Like I said, if you look, I hate to say it, but if you look at our schoolboy football, it's all about winning. And most of the schoolboy footballers don't make it at the highest level. If you look at some of the biggest stars we have in schoolboy football over the years, they don't end up go to the next level. And in schoolboy football, we call them as king.
Yeah, because you weren't even a star in schoolboy football.
No, I didn't. Hey, I went to Greater Portmore. I got only 14 and 16. That was my scores when I played Manicom. We lose a lot.
So here's the question, though. Don't we have a conundrum whereby we are supposedly innately athletically gifted, but yet in football you need to be technical, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to leverage your strengths versus working on what I would call the fundamentals you need to become exceptional. So how do we manage that? Because you're saying we're trying to win. You're going to use the quickest player who can get the ball in net as quick as possible. How do we then pivot to work on the fundamentals to learn the technical aspect of the game, which, as you mentioned before, will help all the footballers, not just the ones who are athletic?
Yeah, but either way you look at it, we're athletic, but you still need to play with the ball. Football is played with the ball. So if you can't keep the ball, then we could have the fastest players in the world. If you're not technically sound with the ball, you can't keep the ball. Hence why look at the Spanish players. They're not the fastest players. They're not the biggest players in size. And not only Spain, just any country right now playing football, you have to be able to play with the football. And I think most of the time we are trying to find shortcuts. All right, why? For me personally, why do we look to the players in England more so than the local players? I think it's because we know them come through the right system in terms of grassroots development, and they're more technical to some extent.
Yeah, and it goes back to my point again about midfield, because even now, Whisper, Dixon, they're forwards, right? Or they play up front. We can't point to one midfielder. The only midfielder we point to is like McGee once in a while. We can't point to one midfielder of the Dixon Whisper potential, for example. That was groomed in Jamaica. And it goes back to your whole point about the grassroots, the age you start off, how you learn the technical aspect of the game. Somehow, I mean, you're in the JFF now. The JFF and yourself has got to figure that out.
It's not only JFF and the whole football.
No. I agree. We talked about that earlier, but I'm just saying the JFF is a key instrument.
Yeah, key.
Inform that, yeah.
I think we should just have right across the board in every one of our Premier League teams. They should have a grassroots program where kids are coming up from youth 7 all the way up with proper coaches who can help the kids develop technically.
Which is what you do at Mount Pleasant, which is one of your key things at Mount Pleasant, because you have all of those age group stuff coming up. And
but Mount Pleasant have money, don't it? Mount Pleasant have money. Let's be honest, right?
No,
Mount Pleasant have money.
I don't think it comes down to money only, because if you have the kids them come in, like I would tell you, like Arnett Garden, Tivoli Garden, Waterhouse, these clubs are where football come naturally for kids. Any one of them community they go, you can find kids who are very talented. If those kids can get proper coaching from the young age, I think we can have more players, a bigger pool to choose from. Like you say, you talk about Germany, you talk about Maggie. If we can get every player, what made Germany so good with the ball? Yeah, we need to try to create that atmosphere, right, guys?
All right, Errol, we have so much we want to talk to you about. So I had Conrod. Conrod is from 876 Stream. And Conrod is here. I had him down for 3, but he's here. So I don't want to move in, Errol. Again, people, go and check out the book. It's on Amazon. What is it called? To Hell
and Back. To Hell and Back, and Life with the Stevens, Finding Financial
Independence. Like, you need to get those, right? And you can get them on. But we have Errol Mathison. He is from 876 Stream. The man who has the task of doing a lot of the marketing for the Jamaica Football Federation. And Errol, Conrad, I'm so glad you're here, because people are saying that the market, not marketing. I don't know what that is supposed to mean, but I'm going to allow you to share with us, what has 876 Stream been up to since they have, joined with the Jamaica Football Federation in this partnership, and how you have been helping in the marketing of the football. And I feel like, the two, I don't know, this was not planned. The persons with no hair and are both on the lower side of the stream, the video. The persons with a little hair in their head, they're
on the top.
Yeah, up top. All right, so go ahead.
Well, happy to be here. I had a similar conversation a couple weeks ago, so happy to see the big Kanky show. Nice here to have a conversation again. because he had a very rough conversation, not rough, but good conversation a couple weeks ago around the same topic, but more in a broader sense. So happy to be here to have a conversation. But yes, we started 876 with the Reggae Boys from Reggae Boys and Reggae Girls with True JFF from last year, June. And it's if people understand it, it was not a easy activity to start from the ground up, because we were really building up from a space where everything needed some foundational work, I would say. Because before that, I don't think the JFF had that muscle to kind of build the kind of relationships that were required in the space. But we built on our experience of working with the Jamaica Premier League, which, the years before, if you watch the last couple of years, the turnout for Jamaica Premier League playoffs and the finals has been significant. And that's something that we have been working on for some time. And it's not an easy feat to keep getting Jamaican people out. There's always a competition. There's always something else happening in the entertainment space that is competing for attention. So, and as much as we all say we love sports in Jamaica, we don't love it as much as we think we do in terms of paying customers and going out to support, especially that. Let's start at Jamaica Premier League level. But it's a cultural thing. And what we have to try to do is get that right at the ground level, get people to like the sport again, both at the
Let me
Jamaica
just
Premier League level
before
and
you
then
move.
at the JFF.
Is it actually cultural,
Yes.
right? Is it actually cultural when we just saw a full stadium for the Messi game?
No, but that's a different culture altogether. But let me
No,
explain what that
yeah.
culture is. Can I tell you what that culture is?
All right, go ahead, go ahead.
All right.
This
So
is
that culture
interesting.
is we like novelty, and we like newness, and we like, so if it novelty new, we love that. And then the opportunity of seeing Messi for the first time. The last time I see the stadium full like that was both last race. I don't know if anybody know that day. When both last race at National Stadium, people are jump fence and squeeze up in the bleachers. And I'm not talking regular people squeezing up in the bleachers, and I'm talking high profile people in the bleachers, right? I saw corporate friends of mine in the bleachers. I was working, so I went into the bleachers, see a couple people, and I was like, these people will never be in the bleachers, but it's because of the monumental event that it was. You would go to the bleachers for it. So I would say that the culture is here. We support winners. That's also what Jamaica is all about. We support winners. However, I was just saying it a couple weeks ago. We have to change that. It will take years to do. We have to change that. And somebody has to start it. We have to support the team no matter what. Like you see Brazilian teams. I've never watched a France game and the stadium empty. I've never seen it. I've never seen a Argentina game and the stadium empty. I never seen a Brazil game and the stadium empty.
But
And sometimes
Brazil,
they lose.
but that's what I'm saying though. Isn't I think sometimes the narrative though is that people love winners is really not accurate, because like Madison Square Garden is always full.
Yes.
And they're not even making the playoffs sometimes.
Yeah, because that's a different. Their culture is that we support this. We are just this team. We just support this
You're
team
saying
no
that
matter
in
what.
Jamaica. Oh, you're saying
In
in Jamaica
Jamaica,
only
in
when
Jamaica,
okay.
yeah, in Jamaica though, that's not true.
So I wouldn't use the Brazil and France analogy. I probably use the more Guatemala, Honduras,
No, I even
right?
Guatemala, Honduras.
Because France, they always do well historically, so they'll get the support.
Okay.
The more
Yes.
Guatemala,
Yes.
Honduras,
All right.
Nicaragua is a different
Fair
construct.
assessment. Fair
Yeah,
assessment.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
saying there are countries that are, third world, whatever, like us, that there is that loyalty to the sport. I think we are not as loyal to the sport, like football fans, as we are, fans of high performing teams. That's all I can say. I
All
put
right.
it
So
that way.
let me ask this of Errol, because you were playing at a time when in 2014, I think that campaign, you were part of that campaign, right?
Yeah.
Was because the team was doing well. I think there was a team that went did well in the Gold Cup around that time.
Yeah, I think with Austin and
That went to the finals.
yeah.
All right. So now, what was the support like during that time when you played in Jamaica?
It was good enough. I think one of the things that helped that time, there was a lot of high profile players like Fuller, Marlon King, who were really, especially Fuller, his time in England. I think everybody wanted to see him every time he came here locally. So I think that was one. Having the high profile players, like he's sharing with you, when those big players come here, you'll get the turnout for sure.
Yeah.
So I have the fix for Conrad then. Conrad, we have a fix for you. You don't have to do after this, Conrad, your work lesson. You bring Greenwood come, high profile player, 19 goal contributions in 28 games. I'm done.
Do you know? I always
say, man, not only that, I think sometimes the football as well. Because being honest, like I said, the excitement of the game. I said it the other day. I can't tell when last I'm going to the state, and I'm being honest. I need to see the days when you have a player out there who demand the ball, who express himself, who look like him come for us entertain the crowd. Because it's an entertainment sport, It's a sport where people come to be entertained, And until we have entertainers, while they want to win, while they want to play structured football, they still want to lift up the crowd. And
I would agree with you. I would agree with you that when I listen, because sometimes I just go in like some of the games, I go sit down because they don't know me. So I just go sit down at some point in the stadium just to hear what's going on. And two things I recognize, and I would say to you. One, they don't know the player names.
What?
So, when teams, Jamaican teams know players, they call them by nicknames or they know their actual names. But when I'm in the stands, or even over the bleachers, them start call 14 and 12 and 9 and 13. So you don't have Jamaicans don't have a connection with the team. That's one. And the second part to it, as you say, the high profile players, the players that entertain them. Because when you're in the stands, you start hear about if Walter Boyd was here, if this person was here, when Theodore was here, man, did I get 2 salad already, 2 pile already, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm saying to you now is that we forget the fundamentals of the football, when as fans, we forget the fundamentals and really look for the entertainment. That's why we love Brazilian teams, because we love the entertainment of the sport. So you see, if we were doing that and losing, man, come again.
Yeah, but
you maybe get a larger turnout.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I am conflicted.
Yes.
Let me tell you why. Because Errol, you coach your kids. If you have a kid down there now having the ball and piling and salading people, you're probably gonna run him off your field and tell him, say, listen, you don't need more than 2-3 touches.
No, man, I'm not saying the pile and the salad,
But that's what Conrad just said. I'm saying that. The people are not seeing that. No, when we coach our kids, we are saying that, listen, that don't really get you anywhere, really,
Attractive football. You want attractive football. And that is in the
you want attractive. You also want dominance, right? So if you remember the Cuba game, which we drew, where people loved the football but didn't love the outcome.
Yes.
Right? Yes. You dominated, but the outcome didn't materialize and it should have, given how dominant Jamaica was. So Errol is right about the attractiveness of the football and the dominance of the football. Because then you're going to walk away feeling good about your team, and they can compete with anybody.
Yeah. I think the dominance is a critical part as well. I think when you have a competitive game, I think competitive games make Jamaicans in the fans feel proud about the team and feel confident that there's a good chance that they will qualify for the World Cup, go far in the Gold Cup kind of thing. So I think that is a part that plays a critical part, as you just said, but it also the entertainment value. If there is that one player that could come, like I see Cephas, right? When Cephas is on the field at the Sabine the other day, it feel like something else was happening in the stadium. Because it's like give the ball to Cephas because he's gonna do something. And I'm just saying those are some of the things that we have identified. That yes, high profile, entertaining players is a puller for Jamaicans. And also, as you said, and from a bigger standpoint, if we are competitive, they would love to see Jamaica being competitive in almost all the games. I think that will also help our chances of greater turnout, greater people coming out.
Are you motivated by the ability then to change culture and change direction of travel, or are you concerned that that's going to be a monumental task to accomplish?
No, actually, I don't think it is. I think everybody have to play their part in the success of successful marketing of a team. One, you have to have great coaching, great package. The players play a critical role in the marketing of the team. That's one. So I'm not worried about that. Two, I think if we package up the players in my marketing strategy, as I was saying before, if we can get the players to walk the streets, meet the people, touch and feel, go to games, those kind of things, both overseas and local base, you'll get greater connection with the Jamaican people. Because Jamaican people love that. You know, they don't like the distance between them and their players. So if there's a connection, that will play a significant role. And then, as I said, if we change the culture in the highest level, it change the culture. Well, we have to just keep doing it, meaning we have to find ways to get regular people to want to come out and support the game. And if that culture keeps happening, if we keep getting large turnouts and people hate the fear of missing out, you know. So if everybody's coming to the games and they see this every time there's a game, 20,000 people are in the stands, they're going to say, you know what, I should go as well. So what I'm trying to do is be consistent in getting a high number of persons in the stadium. And I think that will turn people's minds to say, okay, I see what is working here. I want to come out as well.
But isn't it hard to achieve number two, to get the players on the ground? Because even locally born players who may migrate like Errol did to play overseas, there's only a short window for them to be on the streets in Jamaica, right? Season is long, from July to May. They got to take vacation at some point. They may have Gold Cup or Unity Cup or Copa. There's so many other things that's happening. How do you get them on the ground for a sustained period to interact with the public?
My thought process wasn't even sustained, meaning every time they come, if there's a window of half an hour, I think last year we brought them to Painter School downtown. You know, a couple games ago, we brought them to Bob Marley Museum because some of the overseas based players never got that opportunity. If I can keep doing that, you know, half an hour before training, after training, we go to Papine. You know, one day after training, before training, we go to Ligani, sign some autographs, you know, that will make people say, you know, I like the energy of that and I will support these boys, you know. Where this distance between the team and those things are, that's why you see big teams, Manchester United, they always have foundations, they always have these small activities that they're always doing to make sure that there's a connection between the fans and the players.
Yeah. So like some good plan. And I mean, but part of the whole marketing, right, is also products around the team.
Yes.
All right. So for example, will there ever be a fix to the difficulty of getting a Jamaican jersey purchased locally? Because I think those things help, and other things that are team related. I remember like back in the campaign in 1998 as a kid, I remember people used to make these things from what they call some what they call those rope like card.
Yes.
Forgot what they call them, and they used to put them around a circle thing, cut them, and they come like some little pom-pom that you wear around the neck with black, green, and gold.
It's a yellow and green one, whatever you wear around.
Right. That kind of a thing. When are we going to see that?
I think now is the World Cup season, you know, if you understand. Now we're going into our World Cup season in terms of, so we think we put a lot of the elements initially to get that initial awareness out. I don't think we have to do the same level of groundwork around a game like we did last year. So I put a lot of attention last year on, you know, promotions, town criers, boards, TV, radio, you know. But no, I think some of that we can continue doing, but I think we need to advance our engagement, as you are saying now. Jerseys, shirts, whatever ways to engage the fans to get them connected. Because if one game I could say to everybody, wear yellow in the stadium, and you see a whole sea of yellow in the stadium when you come in that day. And one next match I say everybody wear black to the games. I know that people have black shirts, black Jamaica shirts, they have black Jamaica jersey, they have yellow jersey, whatever it is. And you know that could give, if you know international teams, that kind of cause some level of intimidation. You know, you're coming to a stadium and see everybody in the same color. It gives that effect that these people are united. So there are some of those things that we're thinking about. What we have to do now is partner greatly with sponsors to see how best we can execute some of these, because you don't want to put some of these expenses on the JFF. So you want to find ways now to brands to connect with some of these ideas and try to execute them for the World Cup campaign now.
Is the interest in the sponsorship community increasing?
Yeah. Last year was a little more difficult because it was new, and they wanted to see what was going to happen. But I think now the sponsorship community is there. The brands are calling now because there's consistency. The JFF seem to be turning a corner publicly and privately, and they're seeing also a little bit more consistency in terms of the team. You're not hearing any fanfare. You're not hearing any negative press. Things seem to be turning a corner, and I think if we have to credit Sir Chung, Sir Kits for all of that kind of work, for this kind of whole strain the team together. There's no negative press going around the team, both male and female, and those things play a positive role in the sponsorship. So I have to give credit to the leadership of JFF right now to make sure that is consistent.
Yeah. All right. We have a call online. Let me see if we can. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good things, Manning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I can hear you. Are you hearing panelists?
Yes.
Yeah, man,
Yes. Big up everybody on the panel. Yeah, really enjoying the show. And I'm glad Conrad came on, because, I'm interested in the marketing side of things. I made a comment I made a post in the comment section that stars are part individual skill and part media hype, because you can do something, but if nobody's there to capture it and to highlight it, how do you become a star? And I think that is where the 876 stream can come in. Look at that brilliant goal, for example, from Warner Brown. You see it one time, you don't see it again. I think these things should be played over and over again to kind of build the hype. That is how you make a star, and that people will want to see. What is your response to that?
Well, for sure. Some things are rights and those kind of things. I can't go into all of them specifically for that video. But I've seen, if you have seen the Instagram for some time, we even pulling back old videos from Walter Boyd and those people trying to build back some of that energy. So you're correct. What we have to do is do more of that, and try to figure out the logistics of how to get those content in a very quick way from whoever are the rights holder, so we can do playback quickly. But we do it, but it may not, there isn't just logistics of it. I may not get it right after the game. We maybe go through some paperwork for us to get it. So, but as you said, it's something we need to look into and make sure that we get it quicker, and so that we can have those plays. And one of the things you just said, which is a very important point, I've discussed it internally, but we need to get it better as we go along the campaign. We need to build individual profiles of the players, which I was kind of alluding to it before. But we need to remember when I was saying, okay, people don't know the names of the players. That was something we discussed. And we were trying to say we need to get people to know the individual players, local and overseas, even seeing some of their goals overseas, because some people don't know that them perform well overseas, or them do this, or do well other places outside of Jamaica. And that will help to build the profile.
On that point, and I'm going to give two examples, and I'm going to reference a Mount Pleasant example. So generally, when Final Four and Florida just defeated Auburn in NCAA basketball championship, right? So you haven't heard. I know there's flag from Duke and stuff, but you haven't heard a lot of names in NCAA basketball. So you almost feel like the draft quality is not going to be good this season, right? Because normally what the media does is that thank you. What the media does is that they take a name or a couple of names and they begin to put those names out there. So by the time you get to the NBA draft, like this person is like a phenom, though they have not even played in the NBA.
A single game.
They market. So there's a player, for example, at Mount Pleasant, young player, they call him Basil. All right? Like, this kid name should be out there. Like, he should be one of those kids, like, you look at, you identify. Just as an example, but we don't have that in our culture. We don't have that in our culture now to create a space where this kid becomes so marketable that Duckland would know the name already. So by the time he starts playing like under 14 for Jamaica, everybody say, oh, this is the child that they have been talking about. He's on ads, he's on billboard. When Mount Pleasant play a game, they have some highlights of him. And we don't have that in our culture. And it is something which is coming back to what Duckland is saying about like which player are we right now? Are we talking about locally?
Yeah.
Which player is on right? That's what you're saying, right, Duckland?
Yeah, Mannings, we have it in our culture, but we don't have it in our football culture. Because I see it in the artists. Look at artists out there. They are publicizing themselves. They're all over the place. We need to do that with the football as well. Some of them people can't sing a note to save them life, but they come on the most following, and that's down to marketing. You think we have to do we have to expand the marketing a lot more. That's what I see.
And again, I'm here to have the conversation. And one of the things about these platforms is that, it takes both sides insights, because we hear the way to get better at your marketing is to connect with customers and connect with fans. And as we share here and learn what would make you feel connected to the brand is what we have to pay attention to. So sometimes I always say, when I come onto these platforms, I listen to as much as I share. I listen to because it plays a very important role in effectively marketing to the fan base. So I appreciate your feedback. Something that we just need to put some more attention on, and get it out there.
All right, big up the Duke of Montego Bay.
Yeah, man.
All right,
big up.
Not to be a Grinch this conversation, but that's one that when Conrad is doing what he's doing, and I know he's doing this, your fan base is not just local.
No, for sure. And I remember we had that conversation.
I know. And I said, I know you know this, but it's not just local. Just don't tell the whole audience. We have a whole bunch of people who are not local who is also part of the fan base.
Errol has to run soon, right? But there's a caller who wanted to speak to you because this is Friday, and I think you have a whole lot of things that traded tomorrow. So I know this caller wanted to speak to you. I'm going to call them so they can ask their question, and then I'm going to let you. Welcome to the show, caller. Good afternoon. Errol is about to leave, and I know you were calling while he was speaking, so I want to make sure that if you had a question for him or something to say, you could, and then I can let him go.
No, I don't have any questions for him.
Okay. But you were calling earlier, Miguel.
I was because good afternoon to you and the other person on your panel, please, sir. All right. So what I was calling about, because he even made a point, Errol made a point, I think we lack vision management where the football is concerned. And by this, I think we can call all the parties that make decisions where Jamaican football is concerned officially mad people. Because I say we keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, you're crazy. And that is what has been happening over and over. We seem to be trying a quick fix solution, and it is not working, man. We need to have vision. You understand me? And we don't seem to demonstrate that where the football is concerned. You understand me? And we can see that even through government too, where the management and the country is concerned. But as it relates to specifically the sport football, we don't have no vision where it is concerned. Me personally, I think that we should be building football around the grassroots. Then you put, then you take outside. Then you take that. I don't want to say outside for people to misunderstand as if they're not Jamaican. We take persons from outside the geographical location of Jamaica, right? That are qualified to play for the country and fit in where necessary. But then we're doing it the other way around, and it has not been working. If you have a group of people, 12-year-olds, playing together, you understand me, for 4, 5, 6 years, you know how dominant those guys can be once they have the basic talent and you try to build on that within 5 years' time? If we had done that from the last World Cup, we would have a better team now playing, and as Errol spoke about ball possession and all of that, there would be so much they feel
All right.
more comfortable playing with each other.
All right.
What you say?
Yeah, man. So let me let Errol respond because I don't. What I can say is that I believe we have vision. All right, because having vision is just a preferred look. Like, we want to see a nation where our players. It is what you want to see. You can have vision, but if you don't have a strategic plan to get to that end, then that's a problem. I believe deep down in the heart of the people involved in football is to produce footballers who can play at the national level and go into any league overseas. That is a vision, because that will enhance the team. Now, the question is, what are we doing strategically to get to that end, right? And maybe, Errol, you can respond to that, because I to say that there is no vision. Yeah. To say that there is no vision, I think is I don't know. Like I think there's a vision for the country. What we may not have as a nation is the type of leader who are going to be stick-to-itive enough to see that vision. And what happened, the vision sometimes get altered because of people's personal agendas and feeling. So we are not vision-driven, we are more personal-driven. So, for example, right, I may be doing something good to fulfill the vision, but because Conrad and I don't get along, and it is my idea and not Conrad's idea, Conrad pulls in a different way. It doesn't mean that we don't have a vision. It just means that because we don't align personally, we instead of coming together to see the vision, we create the vision, so the vision cannot be fulfilled.
No,
But go ahead, Errol.
yeah, looking at it, if I was to use an example of Belgium, Belgium has been well documented in a similar sense that you just stated, where everybody in Belgium thought they knew football, everybody was pulling in different directions, and they had to come to a holistic idea that it's best to look collectively how the clubs can help each other. Because if you have better players in the clubs, that means better football and better end product. And hence, more people, more revenue, more fans, just like getting more fans in the stadium. If we could build, like I said, right now, currently, very few of the Premier League clubs have grassroots programs where you have kids who come through these clubs from 7, 8, 9, right up. Like I said, I can give a perfect example. Nolan, who we see just moved to Canada. Nolan has been at Mount Pleasant since he was 10 years old. And I myself, when I saw Nolan for the first time, I could tell that this kid was exposed to football more than the average 13-year-old. Because being honest here, Nolan got his debut for Mount Pleasant maybe, I think this season. Nolan could have been playing in the Premier League when he was 13.
I think we lost Errol there.
That's me.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why
He's sorry. He's back. He's back, Miguel, because I want him to just finish up on his own. Go ahead. Yeah. You're talking about Nolan.
Nolan, yes. Like I said, when I joined Nolan Mount Pleasant in 2023, Nolan was 13 years old. And I can tell you that I played the tier 2 with him. And I think Nolan could have been playing in our Premier League from he was 30. Because of his exposure to football at Mount Pleasant, where he trains 2 times a day from he was 10 years old. So if we have more kids like that developing in an environment like a Mount Pleasant, if all our Premier League teams had grassroots programs where the kids were coming up and competing against each other that young, then you'd have a better end product. It's only normal. Like I said, I think we waste 6, 7 years of most of our players locally.
Yeah,
of course.
And hence they don't have that quality. Because even me personally, I think I got better the older I got. And that is only because I started late. I got exposed late to football. So if you expose the kids more early,
why do we keep talking about this thing year after year after year and nothing is happening, bro?
I maybe could chime in here. It's a costly venture.
Yeah, man. It costs money.
I'm just saying, just to tell you, just to be on the other side, right? Before going into marketing for sports, I am a sports fan as well. But before going in, I would say, boy, we should do this, we should do that, we should do that. And then when I got in, I realized it's not a cheap venture. And what happened is, so you have to, so the difference is, what I've seen is that you have to win first to get the money to do the grassroots, if you understand my point. You kind of have to go to a place and maybe win the Gold Cup. And then people say, this serious. So you use what you have, you win with what you have. And then when you win with what you have, you may get the opportunity now to get partners on to do the thing you really wanted to do. So I think some of the times
Virgin,
people don't see the vision
I couldn't
happening.
disagree with you more.
What happened?
I couldn't disagree with you more, my brother. I couldn't disagree with you more. You understand me? The monies that we're using, right? And give it to speed. The training has started where the coaching education is concerned. But the monies that we have been using to get all these fancy coaches, you understand me? As far as this is most times their life, come and get some hot girl, and all this do a muggle with the girl. The girl now wash, cook, or clean, and that's all this is the result of these for these coaches. You understand me? So the monies that supposed to get for these some of these brand name coaches. You understand me? I'm pretty sure that a lot of our local coaches, had they gotten the proper education, they would be willing to work for a fraction, right? Maybe 25% of what is being paid to a lot of these so-called high-profile coaches.
Are we willing to wait 8 years like Belgium? Question. Are we willing to wait 8 years like Belgium to do it?
Hold on, Conrad. I'm going to come into you. Miguel, so I have two persons have to go on the panel, right? So I want to thank you for the call, but I'm just going to give them a couple of minutes to wrap up, and then Conrad is going to respond to you. All right?
No problem, my brother.
Yeah, man. All right. So I know Cranky has to go and Errol has to go. Errol, so let me release you first. Tell them about the book. Answer the question that is on the screen. Errol, when you were playing, did you treat every game the same? Where their games that you got up more for than others? Could you go 100% in every game through the season, right? So if you can quickly go through that and tell them about the book, where to find it again, and then you can go. And then I'm going to give Cranky his last say as well.
To be honest, I think I was more excited when I put on the colors than anything else. I think when you get to represent your country, it should be it's a dream for me anytime I put on national colors. So yes, I may have given 100%. I think all the time I was on the field, but giving 100% doesn't mean things go your way all the time. But that was the mindset. But I think anytime I got called up for the national team, I wanted to show my best, and that came naturally. Yeah. So like I said, the book is on Amazon. To Hell and Back, Errol Stevens, and you'll see Life with the Stevens, Finding Financial Independence.
2 books, right? And you can also check out his channel, always putting out content, kicking penalties, saving goals, swimming, I don't know what they don't do, looking at properties and stuff, doing a lot of work, I think. Great father, husband, businessman, and thing. Want to thank you so much for coming on again. We have been wanting to talk for a very long time. We need to probably do some conversations, and just help to equip some of these players a better life after football. But thank you so much, Errol, for coming on and sharing just a portion of your life's journey and story. Thank you again.
And thank you for having me. And bless up the viewers, and yeah, man, take care, guys.
All right, blessing. All right, Cranky, your time. You have been listening to the discussion. Yeah, man, talk to me.
Now, I'll just say something that Errol is a good example of what people should aspire to be, the ones who play sport, especially football in Jamaica. Whereas he mentioned the compensation level is very, very low. He had to matriculate someplace else to generate more income for his family. But as you can see, and I've actually watched his channel, he does a good job of diversifying his income stream. Does a good job of becoming, and he grew up in an household where, finances was part of the whole probably table talk that they had. But JFF can leverage to speak to players, give them ideas, help them to educate them about the basic of finance so they can make better decisions with their financial situation, right? I think that's an imperative. A lot of players run into trouble in those situations, and he can actually be an instrument and a help to those individuals. And last but not least, I'll say this, man, I appreciate you having me on your program. I did see Errol come on and did drop a note. You asked him a question for me, so thanks for bringing me on. Conrad, I'll say good luck. I don't want your job. But I'll say this, though. I'll say this before I go. If we do get Mason Greenwood, you have to leverage the you-know-what out of that. You have to make that to the zilch, because I watched him score a goal. Was it this weekend against Toulouse? People talking about Declan Rice goal. Go watch that goal, people. Just as good. And that's from open play. That wasn't a set piece.
Ask him, Conrad, if Mason Greenwood is in the Gold Cup squad playing in California versus Guatemala in that first game, if he will be there.
I've been to most of the games in the States. I was in Dallas. I was in St. Louis. I was in New Jersey. I was in Florida. California is a little bit out of my flight range, man. I'm going to California soon, and I'm taking the train. No. This is not an excuse. I'm taking the train. It's 3 days. I hate flying. But if he comes to Jamaica, I may come to Jamaica, actually. Because it's only 3.5 hour flight versus a 6 hour flight to California. It's a big difference. I haven't flown to England since what? 2017? Because I don't want to fly. And I want to go to England. I want to go watch Arsenal play. But anyway, Conrad, appreciate it, sir. Manny's man, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Thank you again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so this marketing strategy, Conrad, is so what are you doing now to kind of move the marketing from an 876 stream perspective for this year? Because we saw some of the things, and I don't know, sometimes when people don't hear, they think nothing is happening. So because you guys have not been, like, when you just came on, there was a lot of social media stuff. You guys were out there talking, a lot of interviews, talking to people, saying stuff. A lot of that has died down since beginning of the year.
Right.
That does not mean that work is not happening. So what are you working on behind the scenes that the people can look forward to in terms of, I just saw, for example, one umbrella saying that whatever, what he's available. He
has been a great help. He has been a great help to keep the energy in the stadium. He has been a great help, and I'm really proud of the work that he did. He started last year, and he's been actively pushing it. And there are more like him out there, that's trying to do it on that side. No, for this year, the game is, they are strengthening the call their marketing manager, Avery, all of those things. So we have been working internally for a little while, trying to get a lot of things prepared for what is to come. If you see what the summer looks like the Unity Cup, the summer looks like Gold Cup, and as soon as those are done, you're back into the qualifiers. So a lot of preparation work is happening for those things to hit out quickly. And I think over the next couple of weeks, the fanfare is going to build. What we want to do now is to build the marketing around the Unity Cup, which is coming right around the corner, because we have to work the diaspora now to make sure that cup, people in the diaspora are aware. And that's something that we want to make sure that we work through. So you're going to see a lot more momentum now going straight into, from Unity Cup straight to Gold Cup, straight into the World Cup qualifiers.
Which comes Unity Cup to World Cup qualifiers to Gold Cup.
Straight, yeah.
Yeah, in that order. Yeah.
In that order, actually,
Yeah. All right, that's awesome to look forward to and stuff, because I mean, like I believe it is better when the team does better when the crowd support is there, and the crowd comes out when the team is better.
Yeah.
So there are two things. I know there's a group of people who will turn up when the team does well.
Yes.
But we still need people who will turn up so that the team can do well, because both factors are important.
Very, very important.
Keep on ignoring. I hear this thing that when the team starts winning, if you look at the record and stuff, even under this coach, how many games has he lost, really? To the USA, those are the two. If you compare that, if you look at the ratio, he has more success than failures.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But so it is not just that.
Yeah. No. As we said before, the performance, how the fans feel about the game, how they feel the team is gelling. There are a lot of things that we sit in the stands and listen to that fans want to see. But for us right now, what we want to do now is, as I say, right now, the main game plan is to connect with the fans. That's the number one thing. If we can connect with them, as some people are saying, get to know the players, get to know, go in the streets, do whatever we can in the off season when matches are not being played. Maybe do some more interviews with them while they're overseas. Those things, we have to kind of find ways to keep the fans informed and engaged when matches are not happening. And that's something that we have to do this year significantly to keep the fans connected to the fan base.
Yep. And I think, like I said, for me, the people need to support, the team needs to perform. And once we have that, then, good combination. And again, I think I like the idea of getting, windows are close, but we have to find ways of getting the interaction between the fans and the players going as well.
Yeah, man. So if we can go, if for me, if I could get every window, we do something with players, engage the players, with fans, whatever way it is. Signing ceremony down by Tracks and Records, you come sign and meet your player and take some pictures. That will play, because that will make people go back and share pictures with their kids and share on Instagram. That would spread the word, If you go and fix a basic school or even have a goalkeeping training camp with captain, if you understand point, just a one day in a volatile community, those things is good PR for the team, and it will help the players. So it's just, as you say, as we build, new coach just come in, he's settling in. Now we can have a conversation and say, now you understand your schedule, now you understand things. Can we add to it? Can we have a games night and we interview and we bring in? I remember one day Chronix came to one of the training sessions, and that was a big thing, for the PR wise. Can we continuously do that? Bring artists, entertainers that will, push that out to say, we are supporting the teams as well. Those are some of the things that we have to do to connect as well.
Yeah, I think it's always easier for like people to come where the team is at sometimes than for the team to go
where. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Logistics wise, for sure.
Logistic wise and
safety and all of those things we have to take into consideration. For sure. Yeah.
So maybe
but at the end of the day, sometimes
it has to be done. Yeah, especially during the longer, when you have longer windows, you can use those times. But with the shorter windows, it's always good, I believe, when persons, just like our Chronix came there, like you said, there are other artists that I know wouldn't mind coming and being amongst them and to just give a little pep talk.
Yeah. So we believe in it, even though we cuss. Yes, we hear we cuss on Instagram and whatever. But the true feeling in our heart is that we believe. Those things play a part.
Yeah.
And especially, one of the things I say to them, you have an overseas base of maybe about 10 or 11 players per window. They don't know Jamaica as much. So if the local base people here come and say, hey, we love you, we watch every week, and
it makes a huge difference.
It makes a difference because they are people. You know what I mean? So, as we have to do it, we just have to keep doing the best. I think these YouTube channels play a very big role in the discussion. But again, I have to give every recommendation that in the interviews, now if we drop it all over the place, and have to take clips from this and drop it on IG so the bites get out and the TikToks and stuff. So it stretches outside of the YouTube base, because we need some of the discussions you guys have are very, very important. Like Errol a while ago when he said, okay, it's good finance base, that could be a good partnership with a brand. So if your messaging go out there, maybe a brand hear it and push it out.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man. So really good to see the work you're doing and the conversations, and willing to have a YouTube sit down with a couple of the YouTubers
content
to
creators.
See what the content creators, to see what they see and see what angle are they seeing it from, and say, okay, maybe, because I've tried many things. Promo codes with YouTubers, I've tried many things.
Yes, that is true.
I've tried many things with YouTubers, but maybe they have a view different from what I have seen. So maybe it's good now to listen and hear what they're thinking, so we can stretch the conversation forward.
Yeah. All right, listen, man, I want to thank you for coming on. I know it was a little bit short notice, but really appreciate the time and the discussion.
Yes,
and
man.
Yeah, man. All right, and we look forward. We'll talk some more as thing comes up. We'll talk some more, and we'll also I will talk to the YouTubers that I have, because the more the platforms you can be on, just spreading the message and the need, and that
Yes,
also
man. Yeah,
helps
man. And
in
even
the
hearing from them as well, that would
yes,
be also
yes,
very, very important. That's
definitely,
something I want. Last year was very short notice and we had to get the word out quickly. Now
yeah.
we have some time. We should sit down and
Put
have
some
a
stuff
decent
together.
conversation, put some stuff together, plan long term. All
All
right?
right, then. Yeah, man. Bless you, Conrad. Thanks again for coming on, man.
Anytime, love.
Appreciate it. All right. Yeah, man. So, people, there you have it. Errol, Conrad, Cranky. What a good show. But listen, I want to leave you with some information concerning the Gold Cup. You'd have seen the Gold Cup draw. I think Jamaica is in I would say, a group that expectations are from that group that we should make it out of this group. And I also believe that if we play to our full potential, with some of the names that have been dubbed to be a part of it, I could see us in the finals again. The good thing that in the quarterfinals, right, if we top our group, we could end up, I believe, playing a Honduras. That because I believe that they're going to come through from their group, which would send us into the semifinals. This is just my prediction, right? So I'm going to show you it, and then you can give me. I know some of you are going to, as usual, have a lot of negatives, but that's all right. We understand. All views are welcome. So when I look at this, right, quarterfinals. First, we are in Group C, so the third quarterfinal would be 1C, so which is I am picking Jamaica to win the group, right? Right. B, right? So we will either play Canada or Honduras. I think we're going to top the group. Honduras is going to be second, so Jamaica and Honduras. Bam. That's me. That's my prediction. All right. So the first quarterfinals would be the winner of quarterfinals 1 versus the winner of quarterfinal 4. Jamaica is quarterfinal 3. Right? So Jamaica is quarterfinal 3, which means they would play the winner of quarterfinal 2. So Jamaica would play the winner. Let me just tell you, 1A, which is Mexico, D2, which would be like a Haiti or so. So I believe that Jamaica will end up playing Mexico in the semifinals. Yeah. So that is my thing. Jamaica plays Mexico in the semifinals, and then we go to the finals and we win it. So again, I believe we're going to top the group. Our last game is against Panama. And I think by the time we get to that game, I think Panama and Jamaica would have basically secured their qualification. Right? And because of that, that game is going to be who wants to finish top of the group. All right. And so I think Jamaica finished top of that group. We end up playing Honduras, who will finish second in their group. We are going to win that. And this is my prediction. Yours may be different. And then when we win that, we play Mexico in the semifinal. And I think for the first time, somebody's saying that Haiti will upset the tournament. All right, Haiti. Well, yeah, Haiti could. I think that is the toughest group, in my opinion. Saudi Arabia, Trinidad, Haiti, and USA. I think that group is very, very, very tough to predict. Right? And I also believe that Mexico group is going to be tough because based on just what you've been hearing about Denmark and Suriname, that will be a tough group as well. All right. Yes. So interesting times, but we have to be at our best because this is a regional tournament, so it won't be the easiest. So we have to be at our absolute best in this, and our best players need to be man. The coach has put out something. The coach has put out something, about the Gold Cup. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it for you. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it so you can hear what the coach is saying. Tell me if you're hearing the coach.
We're joined with the head coach of the Jamaica senior men's national team, Coach Steve McLaren.
Tell me if you're hearing.
Firstly,
people.
Coach, it is an exciting summer that lies ahead for Jamaica. How much are you looking forward to it with all the activity that we have?
Yeah, I think the Unity Cup was mentioned a couple of months ago, and we've always been excited to bring Jamaica to the UK.
Okay.
And to have a camp there. And it seemed the perfect opportunity to do that. It might come at a bad time, end of the season, Premier League is still underway, playoffs, etc., etc. But I'm looking forward to putting a Jamaica squad together that our many supporters in the UK will look forward to getting close to and be able to watch it at close hand. And we want to do some things in which I think it's important that we don't just connect with the supporters in Jamaica, but the diaspora around the world, and especially in the UK.
Yeah, just briefly on that, Gaffer, as somebody that has lived the vast majority of his life in the UK, you can just speak briefly about the Jamaican diaspora that lives within the UK, the north, the south, all over, really.
Everywhere. It's unbelievable. When I first joined, I had a friend of mine and I said, look, just go out there and search. Obviously, Heimer had done his homework and searched those with dual nationality and could play for Jamaica. And I wanted to expand that even further. He did that, 60 or 70 names. It was unbelievable. And the more I've traveled around the UK to watch Jamaican players, I've known that the support is there, the interest is there, and the amount of people who have that dual nationality is unbelievable. And as I say, majority of them will have never seen, Jamaica play at close hand. And now they've got the opportunity. So we're excited about that and can't wait.
And as you know, following that, we have the World Cup qualifiers and, of course, the Gold Cup. How has preparation been going for you and the technical staff as well?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a busy summer. You talked about that. 3 camps. First the Unity Cup, then World Cup qualifiers, and then Gold Cup. So we're shuffling the players around a little bit because obviously Premier League plays Saudi Arabia. Won't be able to take part in the Unity Cup because they don't finish till late. They'll be a part of the World Cup qualifiers and the Gold Cup. So we're looking at a provisional squad of about 50 players at the present moment, and then obviously the closer we get to having to name a squad, we will do that first for the Unity Cup, and then for the World Cup qualifiers, and hopefully that squad will be strong enough to take us through to the Gold Cup.
Of course, last night we would have seen the draw for the Gold Cup. Just would like to get your reaction to it, how everything panned out, and of course your excitement with this tournament ahead.
First and foremost, the excitement of the tournament. I've heard a lot about the Gold Cup. I can't wait to experience that. Other players have, but myself and the majority of the UK staff won't have experienced it. So that's a new one for me. I look forward to that. The draw, was looking forward to the draw, and yeah. And one thing I've learned since taking the job in the Caribbean, there is no easy games. And we don't expect an easy game. The 16 teams that got through, we looked at them all and went, well, there's not one you could say, well, we'll pick and that will be easy, or that one's okay, because they're all difficult. So we are in the group we're in. It's Guadeloupe, French colony, players from France, Turkey, Germany. Good players. First and second division, their leagues, so good players. And there'll be a surprise package. I know that. I've seen a little bit of them. Guatemala, obviously, we're playing them in the World Cup qualifiers, so we're in preparation for that, and we'll learn a lot more after the World Cup qualifier. And of course, the favourites for the group, Panama, who I watched even before we played the USA, and I thought, wow, geez, these are a good team. And then they go and beat USA, I think, in the third place playoff in the Nations League. So, yeah, not easy. And as I said, there's not an easy game in this competition, in this region, in CONCACAF. So, we expect a tough time, but whatever you do to progress, you've got to beat the best teams.
I mean, you've had experience of being at international tournaments, 2002, 2006. Can you say, how much it helps being together with the players 3-4 weeks versus the FIFA window 8 to 10 days? Will that be a positive for Jamaica being together for such a long time?
I think it's a great point, Simon. I think you're absolutely right. That the majority of the times we've had players, 8 to 10 days, 2 games, very little, probably 4 sessions each camp in which to put our philosophy over. And this is an opportunity where we can get the players together for a lot longer, embed our principles, get a way of playing, nail that down. Because of international football, you don't get them often. Keep it simple, which we aim to do, and trying to get some rhythm and momentum from Unity Cup, World Cup qualifiers, going into the Gold Cup, and then hopefully qualifying and for the September, October, November camps. That's and the goal, and the goal from the beginning has always been World Cup qualification. So whatever happens, Unity Cup, World Cup qualifiers, Gold Cup, the aim and the focus and North Star, shall we call it, that we're continuously looking at is World Cup qualification. There will be bumps and bruises on the way, disappointments, but it's a journey. It's going to be difficult, but one in which we're confident we've got a chance of getting there.
And finally, Coach, what is the plan between now and, of course, May, when all the camps will come together? What would you say is the plan between now and then?
I mean, really 3 things. One, as usual, watching players. That's the most important thing. Making sure players are in form, actually playing. Coming back from injuries, there's quite a few of them. Greg Lee, Casey Palmer at the present moment are also doing that. Mikel Antonio, who's progressing well. So looking at players, recruitment, and this is where we've really got to push now. We've been pushing a lot. We've got quite a few, but we're getting close, and we need to push that through. So we've got them available for the summer, and plan for the 3 camps. At least 7 games. So we've got to make sure that we've planned properly. Everything's logistically correct. Hotels, training facilities, picking up the squads, and just making sure that we're ready. And it's a short time from now until it will come quick. But once it's going, we've got to be so organised, so on the ball, that it runs smoothly and hopefully performances and results follow.
All right. All right. So, all right. Hope you all heard that. That was Coach Steve McLaren speaking with Simon Preston about the Gold Cup draw. Like my predictions are, Jamaica will top this group. Now, many of you may have looked at the Panama game in Nations League and, predict that Panama will beat Jamaica. Panama will not beat Jamaica. That's my prediction. And so, like you have a right to your prediction, I have a right to mine. That's my thing. And I will just go by the last time that we played Panama. We actually nipped them by a goal to nil. I think we will do that, and we will play Honduras, who we have a very good recent record against. We will beat them. And we will then get into the semifinals against Mexico. And I think this will be a tough game for us. But I think if we can get 3 critical signings, or not signings, but players added to this team. Thank you, Franklin Young. What people don't remind, every time we play in tournaments, we beat them. There you go, at the senior level. If we can get 3 players in this team, three new players with their passports coming through, I think that sets us up to do a tremendous job in this Gold Cup. I will not call their names, but I believe that if that were to happen, it will be a big deal for Jamaica. I think this is the Gold Cup. Jamaica wins, breaking the cycle of USA and Mexico continually, perpetually winning this competition. All right? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So looking forward to all my Cali people. Yes, I shall not call on your people, but I mean, this video has been so good. I want to thank Errol Steven. And sometimes this is the thing, why you don't get so motivated to do these things. Because a video like this, just by the sheer amount of people that have watched the video, we should have at least had 100 likes on the video already. You understand me? We're at 87, right? And when you look at the amount of views on the amount of persons that are on, we should have had 100 likes because it's good information. Big deal then. Until you can give me some football stuff that says that based on the last time Jamaica and Panama play, that's your opinion, my boss. You can keep your opinion. That's your opinion, What I know is that the last time that Jamaica and Panama played in the Gold Cup, we beat them. The last time we played in the Nations League, we beat them. When we played them in the Gold Cup before that, we drew with them. So you find something and tell me, where did Panama beat us? Where you going to tell me that, it's a different Panama now, really? Relax yourself, keep your opinion. And then when the game is played, then you can talk to me. If Panama is better than us, why are you predicting a draw? Be bold enough to say Panama beating us. Be bold enough. Of course. If these 3 players come into this team with the present group of players we have, Jamaica winning the Gold Cup, Richard Stewart. I kid you not. 3 players in the mix that we have, we win this Gold Cup. And I've heard every single player in this team saying that this is the Gold Cup that we're going to win. No, you can go call Panama, because a lot of you will have Panama winning and Costa Rica. The only team that can win the Gold Cup for Jamaicans is Jamaica, And I'm saying that is some of your opinion. I'm not fighting you, I'm giving you my opinion. But there are 3 players that I believe, if their paperwork come in and they join this team with the determination of this squad of player will win this Gold Cup this year. They have said it and they have made up their mind, every single one of them, that this year they're taking this World Cup. So I believe with them. I'm not asking you to believe. And you're not wrong for having your opinion. You have a right to your opinion. And you believe, some people believe that Jamaica won't even come out of the group, that Jamaica, that's your opinion. That's your, as a Jamaican, that's what you believe. I believe differently. And so we can still converse and have different opinions. Big up man like, big up man like Man of Steel, you know. Man of Steel, yeah boy, I was at a WPL game yesterday. Water Premier League. Lot of water. Water like, whoa. Flooded Drax all spoiled a good game. I'm telling you. If Drax all, the Water Premier League yesterday was crazy. Water like, whoa. People, we have to do something about the fields in Jamaica. Them thing, I'm not saying that every field is going to be perfect, you know. But we must can do better drainage, man. That a spectacle. It would have been such a good game. It would have been such a good game. Mount Pleasant ended up winning, you know. But you see this racing team, good quality team. Good quality team. And you know, one of the things I want to, where the pot cover man from racing have one pot cover man, you know, boss. Me certainly say every single game that them play is a different set of pot cover him by. So what that have to do with Panama being third? Bolivia have been a game in South America against team and Bolivia we don't have 50th. Boss, what you know about football? Arsenal no lose to the team when they're almost in the bottom of the Premier League. Yeah, let me tell you this big deal then. You guys present information when it benefits your argument. What that have to do with a team being third? Did Panama win any game did Panama win? Did Panama win any game in the Nations League? Did they beat a team that is ahead of them? Did they beat a team that is ahead of them? When Jamaica defeated Canada, where was Canada and where was Jamaica? You have your opinion. You have your opinion, but don't come and put, because some of you use stats when it suits your argument. What a team being in third. So your point is, no team that is ranked below a team can beat them. What is the point of your? You need to start calling and talk so people can hear your reasoning and not type. So let me ask you a question again. Seeing that you're this, you always speak a lot about football. So let's talk some football because you know football. Can a team that is ranked below a team beat a team? So how you guys have teams below Jamaica beating Jamaica? It's kind of strange how you reason football, some of you know. Because any team that is below Jamaica can beat Jamaica, but Jamaica cannot beat a team that is above them. How does, explain that to me? I'm wanting to start calling. I want to start calling and talk and stop typing. Give me your logical reason why any team that is below Jamaica can always beat Jamaica, but Jamaica stand no chance to beat any team above them. Why? Yeah, wait for an answer. No, may I ask them logical, because a lot of them, they hide behind what they type. They have a reason why they don't call in. That is what I want them to answer. Every time Jamaica is in something, some of these people, we can't beat this team, we can't beat this team. But Curacao can beat Jamaica. Guadeloupe can beat Jamaica. Suriname can beat Jamaica. Haiti can beat Jamaica. Trinidad can beat Jamaica. El Salvador can beat Jamaica. DR can beat Jamaica. Guatemala can beat Jamaica. But Jamaica cannot beat no team that is above them, but any team that is below. So when Jamaica is playing other teams, the ball is square. But when other teams below Jamaica playing them, all of a sudden the ball gets run. You know, calling and explaining yourself. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. People, hit the like button, yeah, sir. Because, yeah. Welcome.
How are you doing?
Who is this?
Well, I would like to go by the Umbrella Man, because since I'm promoting that brand.
Umbrella Man?
Yeah, one umbrella.
What you talk about, man? Big umbrella, what go on? Me have to stop call the umbrella man and call you tent man, because you think bigger than umbrella, you know.
Man's man. Boy, me I tell the man's man. Boy, I don't know. But you know what? My mother always say me the chips fall where they mean. So me I take where me I go in an organic way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but me don't know why a man would have said Jamaica can't beat no team above them. You know, is that Jamaican that say that?
Eh? We have to start questioning them citizenship.
Yeah, we can beat team above we, and team below we can beat we too. No, no one ball everybody, no one ball 11 man a kick.
No, sir. When Jamaica play a certain team, them can. No, sir. When Jamaica play a certain team, you're mad. You're mad. The ball different. Jamaica boss. We have to work with them. Jamaica can't beat no team above them. Only team Jamaica. And the team them below Jamaica can beat Jamaica. So you understand me? So yeah.
And that's a game play, no. It's not a point thing where you get the points before,
boss,
you know. So.
Jamaica all along Jamaica play football, them never beat nobody yet, boss. I just be a daydream. We are daydream. Yes, we fool. Yeah. But like me, a daydream, because how we reach, you know, and we win no game. A daydream, we are daydream. So all of us who did think Jamaica is 6th ranked team, all of us who thought like Jamaica came third in the Nations League in the last, not the one that just finished, the one before that. All of those things, boss man, are all wrong. A daydream, we are daydream. The only reality in football is that, guess what? Anybody below Jamaica can beat Jamaica, and everybody above Jamaica can beat. That is it.
Man's man, for me, grew up, you know, me always grew up, no matter where you go in the world, you know, the sun set in the east and rise in the west, you know, so I don't know where them are see, brother, but anybody can beat anybody on any given day, brother. That's why they play the game. If nobody couldn't beat nobody, if nobody below you couldn't beat you, and if you couldn't beat nobody before higher than we not just give them the points on nobody play.
But when I tell you, people like me and you and Minzy and some of the people, them a daydream, we are daydream. Jamaica not play football, boss. No man, FIFA just dip down now and back, take up a name and put we a 6th place. Because we not beat nobody.
Yeah. No man, I realize how grateful we be. Every 2 years we there in the Gold Cup. Right? You know, you think it take boy if you reach a Gold Cup, you know how much country dream. And you have to reach a Gold Cup and we take them things for granted. But then my grandmother say, as I say, if they want it, can't get it, no want it. That's them problem. Them for grateful. Where we there in the top 6 in a Conca Cup. It not take boy if there some management. And we not there because the people in like we there because of how we are player.
There you go, boss.
Man. So with that,
plain and simple. And all I'm saying is that, boss, there's no team that Jamaica cannot beat in CONCACAF, boss. We will struggle against. There's no team that Jamaica cannot beat, boss. In the same way that any team can beat Jamaica, boss. No, I don't have a problem with you believing that Panama going to top the group. But don't come and tell me that if we believe Jamaica can top the group, we are daydream. That's nonsensical.
That is within real.
That is nonsensical. No, you can predict who can top the group. I can predict. But don't tell me that Jamaica cannot beat and use the fact that a team is ranked 3rd.
Man, I'm going to tell you this, right? Jamaica can beat any team in a CONCACAF on any given day. Believe me, man, you look at the player them, we have much better players than Panama. Honestly, man, I must admit, they play better as a team. But we have much better players. So me know we can beat them. Me not surprised if we beat any team. You know, when we not surprised if we beat Spain and Germany and France. That would surprise. But CONCACAF, surprise.
Yeah, but let me say, like MVP, me understand this. So I started out by saying, once Jamaica's best players are available, boss, and 3 players join the squad, Jamaica not only will top this group, me I tell you that, but Jamaica is going to go to the final of this World Cup edition. If these three players documentation come through and they are in this team, Jamaica winning this World Cup, boss. Me I tell you that. That is my prediction. And I can be wrong, because remember, I predict something. Must happen. But one thing I know is that either way, there is no team. Me say Bolivia. Look at Bolivia, boss, in a South American World Cup qualifiers, boss. Like people don't realize that football has changed. When Bolivia used to play a be 9 and 8, them used to get in a South America. Them finished the entire thing with 0 points. So how are they getting points and winning games?
Yeah. But as I say, management, them are people. I don't know. Management, me gonna tell you something. You see, the more me talk to people in a football, and the more me realize that it look like most people have sense and me not have none. Come here, some things up. Me don't know why a man feel like say we can't beat Panama. See, remember the game of Panama when they are there, the management them sit back, and them defend and score a goal from the counter. I look up Puppy can do that against a big dog, if all the Puppy do a defend,
Hey, you know what is funny? You know that. If Jamaica played the way how Panama played, Jamaicans would have complained.
Aye, you see it.
So
he won, you win.
Yeah.
No ball now, man.
Yeah.
No, we won the game. We want to go up against Mexico and play like them. We don't have to play. When you're going out game management, let me tell you something, management. It's not everything what you do. You fight your fight. So if you're going out ring with a boxer, you have to punch. And if you're going out the ring with a puncher, you have to box.
Them money I check where thing there is at, where Nigeria is at in World Cup qualifying, boss.
Mm-hmm.
Them money now follow the dynamics of the football right now. Me I tell you that. Boss, Bolivia in South American qualifiers now. Bolivia have 14 points, boss. Bolivia win 4 games, boss. More than Chile, more than Venezuela, boss. Them win more than Peru, boss. Those teams are ranked higher than them, boss.
Management, let me tell you, if you know what we have, and Jamaica play USA, Mexico tomorrow and beat them, me not surprised. Not one bit. Me know we can do it. When you really look on the game, then we will lose against them team, them management. Sometimes them not all play with.
Jamaica now Canada go beat Canada, man. But we have a next caller, One umbrella. Big up yourself, because the thing bigger than umbrella, man.
Hello, management, but no love and no respect here.
Every time, man. All right.
Yeah, man. Brother.
All right. We have a next one here, No matter they soon run out of steam, boss. Them beat teams that are higher ranked than them. It don't change my point whether them do it at home or away. In fact, Jamaica play better away than at home. Oh. Style and your flavor, have it in city lock. What a go on, coach, Minzy?
I go on, Manins.
Me there,
I know.
Me there.
Yeah, I deal with.
Me there with the Jamaican fans, them, sir.
Yo, me I make a few comments. See? So first of all, big up the people in the chat. And then the second thing, everybody knows that Jamaicans are organists. See? So that's a general statement. Secondly, let me address Little League Len. See? Len, me don't know. I mean, everybody have them opinion for real, and you have to respect a man's opinion. But for somebody who has been our quote unquote integral in, identifying players, I just this come down to Len. We just make a football a waste of time now. You give up already. Yeah. Come on, Len. You give up already, brother. Nah, man. This not sound like a you. This not sound like a you. We used to have big information.
Yeah.
Little league, what go on? No, man, look at them demoted from the Premier League. A-League, you're gone.
Man said Jamaica not improving, football not improving, boss.
Yo.
These are the people who just were talking the other day about how the team had 70% possession of the ball. And
Possession,
they don't see no heap of long ball like used to. Yeah, so me not understand, but go ahead.
But what me I say, Mannings, I mean, you see what really changed about Jamaica football is the flair we used to have. We always have flair players. Right now, we don't have a flair player. Because what happened is that the whole Eurocentric thing I take over football. Football teams and players now able to express themselves anymore. It's all about tiki-taka and them something there. Seeing?
Yeah.
So definitely that kind of change about football. But if you notice with Jamaica when we go on a tournament, it's a different team.
May I tell you that?
Different team. Seeing? We build different for tournaments. And little league still, I don't know. As me I said, them probably demote him to a different league still because them man I used to do in the football PP clock. The only thing we never used to do, Mannings, I support the team by going to match. So probably that's why I feel away when they say my wagon is. That's the only thing Len never used to do. So we don't understand how I go on.
Yeah, big deal Len get brainwashed, man. But
let me not tell him that's why I'm demote him to little league, Len, man.
Yeah.
But it's I think the group that we were placing is a balanced group. Going into a tournament, you have to just take it game at a time. Also, you have to ensure say you're mentally prepared. Because physically, I don't think nothing else can be done. You have to just be mentally ready for tournaments. And if the coaching staff is able to get the team to that point, as me said, the players they are in that zone where they're in a setup where they are
you know that
comfortable.
There you go. You know that like sometimes to win or to do well, your team has to be. A lot of that is down to where the team is at in terms of mentality and thing, you know. That is a big thing, you know. And once demand them at a place, that sometimes can give you almost give you like what they call it now, like give the team a boost. Right?
Yeah.
If we look for go ahead.
Yeah, may I say it's sorry for cut, but if the coach believe and the players do not believe, there's a disconnect there, so, you know. So once the entire playing staff, the coaching staff, management staff believe, then of course it can happen. First you have to believe, you know. And the fans have to believe too many times now. Every year we have say, yo, reggae boy do this, reggae boy do that. Make we have a positive year this time now, man. Make we go in positive now, yeah. See him like how we have support United and United. Make we cuss sometime and nah. You see me I say?
Yeah, man.
Them thing they go on and mess we up. But we still support United. Why we can't do that to the reggae boys?
Boss, Coach Rinzi, a one time Guatemala beat Jamaica, you know. In the 7th time we play in a boss. In a CONCACAF Gold Cup, Jamaica and Guatemala played 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica win 3 times, boss.
Yeah, and those realities in sports and tournaments, they are there for a reason. So see him like how little league, let us say, Panama have the 3rd place for a reason in a CONCACAF. But Panama never beat Jamaica in a tournament. We always say we're a bogey team when we are come to World Cup qualifiers and probably friendlies. But in the tournament, that not go on.
There you go, sir.
You see me, I say? So we have to look into them intricacies when we are reasoning out the football.
All right. CONCACAF Gold Cup, we beat them, boss. That may I tell you, a World Cup qualifier and we struggle with Panama like you just said, boss. Them have 6 wins, we have 2, and there are 4 drawn games. I think that is the thing with Panama. Right?
It can't be doom and gloom. Because on the side of the bracket over there, we have a great chance of going to the finals. Mexico would have been an obstacle. And Mexico now playing the ball. So we are lesser team than Mexico. So we can't go beat them. A joke argument that man is.
So I don't. So many times I just think the man we too negative higher. We're just too negative concerning our own team. And I don't think other teams feel this way.
Because them probably are planning for Jamaica already. Them probably are fret and are sweating in them football shoes.
And not only that, coach means here's what Jamaica plays better when they play in the the Jamaica play better in the Gold Cup because of the surfaces, boss.
Yeah, but the result, the result, I just win. We never win it, We have had good results in the Gold Cup,
Yeah, we not go final 2 times, boss, and barely. We go semi-finals and them thing there.
Yeah, for the past, I think at the time when we did lose 1-0 in our quarter final, that probably one of the worst Gold Cup tournament in recent times. But we have always been doing well in the tournament.
Last 5 Gold Cups, 2 finals, 2 semi-finals, 1 quarter final.
Another 1 quarter final. But that's a very good record.
And I guarantee that most of them games that we lose in the last 5 Gold Cup, a bit USA and Mexico.
Yeah, real thing. So when we can't just use emotion and spew out the negativity, we have to have these. You see, when you go to tournaments, you have to look into all of these things. We're concerned in the tournament, overall performance throughout the years. Them things they play a part, You have a time when you might have a team will beat you, will never beat you for 20 years and them something. Them things that happen. But for the most part, you have to look on the whole history of how the team has been doing in the competition.
All right. So here Simon putting it in the thing. 2023 Mexico, 2021 USA, 2017 USA, 2015 Mexico, 2011 USA. So every time that Jamaica did not win the Gold Cup or got knocked out of the semi-final or the quarter-final, a USA or Mexico, boss. None of them other team knock we out. None of them.
Yeah.
No Panama, no Andres, none of them.
But we are talk Fox then, man. See, Simon have verify everything what we are saying.
Yeah. So I don't know where we get this idea, sometimes it's just like sometimes, with World Cup, me always tell people, do not watch Croatia in a qualifiers, Certain teams and then get to World Cup. It's a different thing.
A different machine, different zone.
They're made for tournament, boss. I'm telling you that.
All right, you have a thing where people, like I said, in the qualifiers, they scrape through.
Yeah.
But you see, once them foot touch that plane there and the plane door lock and it touch down and the door open, is a different set of players them.
It would look like Real Madrid. It would look like Real Madrid.
How you do Fret already?
No, man, I tell you, that look like Real Madrid before this Champions League, before this particular Champions League. Because the one I look like them gone a boneyard. You understand me? But
I Fret already.
Me afraid.
I know. Hold on. I know. Now, bird about a boneyard still in the mornings. Careful.
Hey, I'll me tell you say, boy. You know, say, me I try see me can get Shaquan Davis and Manchester United. Because I'm certain to them they goal they couldn't score upon him, but
Virgin, me say, oh na. Oh na. That man, yo, we you forget Selman.
Hear me ask, man. Honestly, Manchester United fan, is Andre Onana better than Andre Blake?
No.
But I love here. No, means we don't want me to answer now. Because they're going to say we have a bias because a local. We want to ask some of the other people them. Honestly, you all believe, me want to ask again. Oh, see, Duckland I said, no, he's not. Yep. Anybody can. So that is why I said that. So how Onana is playing in you understand me?
Premier League.
In Premier
in
League.
a high profile
So a
team.
lot of times it's not because you're better. You're big deal then that big deal then is the only one who's saying yes or no. Oh, better than Andre Blake.
Manins.
Yo, they were banana.
Manins, stop listening to Little League Lender, man. You know, see Little League Lender troll to them, man. Why y'all listen to him for, man?
Eh?
The man demote the man to Little League, you know, man. So that's why I'm a troll, you know.
Must be.
You see it?
So sometimes,
yeah, man. Andre Blake, I don't see him geographical location cause him not to be in a Europe, isn't it?
Exactly. My point is that sometimes where you're from has a lot to do with where you end up playing, boss. I am telling you that if Andre Blake was say in Europe, it have been easier for him to get to a Manchester than being in Jamaica and going through the States. Not that players can't. But boss, I would like to see somebody convince me and show me what they use to determine that Onana will not even make his international team next time around. Not even his international team because I'm a plan for bench him because he makes the same mistake in international football. So a man can't look and say, well, because of Manchester United. It's not because of Manchester United, boss.
All around.
There are some problems with Manchester United, but those 2 goals yesterday had nothing to do with the defenders.
But Manins, look at the contrast. He does it with his country. He does it with United. Andre Blake does well with Philly, and then him do well with Jamaica.
And we could say
so
that
that's a big contrast.
All right, so here's the thing now. I'm going to use and beat Little League. Liquor deal. Meal deal then. That's the big deal. Meal deal.
I can't see.
And I can't see how chicken will come off of the container. Meal deal. Meal deal with the chicken off of the container out of port board. Yeah. Meal deal.
If you play for Liquor Deal still, man. Liquor Deal or Liquor League.
All right. So, boss, let me ask you this, right? You said, according to you, you have all of these issues with the Jamaican team and the Jamaican defense. That means Andre Blake is exposed more as a goalkeeper when he plays for Jamaica. All right. You'd even say that the defenders at Manchester United are better than the defenders at Philly. But yet, Andre Blake is not prone to so many of those mistakes. Go to Onana in his club team, boss. He has played with top quality defenders and good holding midfielders. And his goal concession, boss, is poor and errors made poor. What attribute to that, boss, man? And why we're not seeing the same thing? Because Andre Blake is playing, based on your own estimation, with Jamaican players that are not good. Why is he still a standout, boss? That more I ask him, Coach Minji.
Little League say baller go do it talking. And how a baller do it talking when him a predict team no sitting there. So I know a baller do it talking.
Which quality which quality defender? Boss, listen. This youth when him from Argentina. Them man are starting centre back for Argentina in a World Cup, boss. Come on, man. No, listen, we may not. We can complain and say some of the man them are Manchester United make mistake. But boss, Manchester United, when a Martinez him name a quality defender. The youth with them just buy when him plot up here. Young youth, Yobo, a same name, Euro, good defender, boss. Come on, man.
Yo, Onana consistently make mistake. Mistake them Onana makes throughout this season, last season. All of them points that accumulate, United probably wouldn't be in another levelized table there. Wouldn't up top, you know, but probably would have the, you know, more mid tier.
Boss, the man give you at least 9 points this season.
Mm-hmm. Easily.
So you
Easily.
Sanjay Brooks is basically saying that only Martinez at Manchester is good. You're a good player, man. Good player to come in, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. And people keep talking about go and watch Onana at Inter. Boss, man, relax. You weren't watching Onana at Inter. I be a stats here, fella. You, big deal, Len. Go back and watch him.
Little league.
Yeah, meal deal, Len. Little meal deal. Little meal deal, Len. Go back down here.
Well, I start seeing years ago, man.
Eh?
I start seeing years ago.
Statistical Institute. Which kind of stats?
One guy for stats.
Started he used to go. Look like they love the name there, no?
Little meal deal.
Boss, man, that time name. Little meal deal.
Simon say no deal. If I know no deal. We say can't secure a deal all now.
A little meal deal, that man. Little meal deal.
You. Jaja, man, them expose the little meal deal, yeah, man.
One thing week, man. But we see your athlete coming back. Look like he will be back. You believe that he? Man say, your athlete that the coach, he's supposed to be coming back this year. He can make world championship.
We don't know what kind of shape in a 2 year miss competition, you know. So
but what I want to ask is that when an athlete is on like band, can they train? Do them own personal thing and like he could have a coach that prepare him, or he's not allowed to do that?
No. He's not able to do that.
You can't run none at all?
He probably can work out, but it cannot be. He can't have a coach that work with him. Not that I know of. You can't have a coach that work with him. Yeah.
So if I'm a cricketer, I get banned. I couldn't like have somebody like a show me to play some shots and them. Me never know that.
You have to do that privately. Mark, you know, people do it still, you know.
Oh.
But you can't really talk about it publicly. So
okay.
But I know that they can't have anybody who's involved in the sport at the level that they're at.
So like you couldn't be giving him some, or that would still be like violating his suspension.
Me could have do it. But like somebody at the elite level coach, them couldn't probably do it. And even if it do, it can't be anything where you can something there. Anything where publicized. You see me? But of course, people work out. I mean, you can't. If me I don't want to work out, you can't tell me sir because of that me I do. I keep my body healthy.
Okay.
I keep fit. You see it?
That me I wonder. Simon was saying Andre Russell was doing it, but he was doing it from a private net.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't have a group. Say if you have a group with train at a particular location, you cannot be seen in that company at train every day. So even if you work out there, it has to be a loaner. You have to be a loaner.
Okay.
Yeah, a loaner for your work out.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody now gonna know no jam pale. That me just say. Them now gonna watch them and say who you work with and whatever. But you have to know what you do because you can't go out in the public. Remember social media time, this, you know. Every time on phone put up, you know, you never know you can post, you know. See, Alien, they are training and our phone go up and it bust out and know, say she are training XYZ. Is it?
Oh. Would I love to see him make a big comeback still? May I tell you that? Would I love to see him?
It can happen, but it's going to be difficult.
In the 400 meters as well, he probably have to go down to the 2.
Yeah. Before the situation, he was actually training for the 1 and 2, you know.
Yeah, me kind of
so
feel
I don't know if they're gonna still.
Yeah, me feel like saying if go down, if to the 2 and just probably the 1 event. Right?
Yeah, and probably can do that, yes.
Yeah. All right. Me know say Duckland, me say go down to the 2, man, I go say something, you know. Me know Duckland, you know. We kind of know him. Me know this man, you know.
I'm Obi come from, though.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, I'm Obi come from, man.
He might go put up wife here because you say come now because most say forward if you say, you know. Man, everything.
No, but
you can't escape.
Obi, man, they are exposed, you know. The Obi people are exposed and they're close to Florida, you know. And then they're closer to foreign than anybody else. Anyway, man, it's big up yourself, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What's that man saying? Come from Galti Gobi? Yeah.
That's why I say Mobi, Mobi, I say.
When him there go fill out, tell him say when him go do all anything and him ask him, tell him don't put man to go be upon it now. All of them people you talk about them come from Galchester. When you no go up at embassy of them and I fill out the don't put Manchester positive when you think no bad. Right? Don't put Manchester. Put Galchester. If you not deal with it, put Galchester positive when you think no bad. When you no go up at the embassy, right? That me want to say to them, you know, put Galchester on it. Put Galti up. You can't put
the man in, but you just know so you can't spell.
Yeah,
I can't spell.
They're gonna do it now. Want to come from Galti go be. Go on up the embassy, go put that on it. And when you apply for your job, and them ask you to put where you are from, and you get your job. You understand when them promise you a good salary. Put on it Galti go be. And when them ask you, where is Galti go be? Tell them, say, you don't know man, no deal with man to go be. And see what happen. Good. And then you can come and talk to me.
Me know another conversation them man in the St. Catherine me come from.
Yeah, not the straight about the name.
Duckland saying just put Moby.
Yeah, man. But you good though, Minzy. You stay for Gold Cup. Too far? Or you go Club World Cup?
Gold Cup? Yo, we don't know we can go on. But may I link up the year, man.
Yeah, man. All right, we're gonna run it.
We'll try to get back active in our football space, you know, cause
yeah, man, yeah, definitely.
If people have a ball for triple treat, so triple treat so forward.
You start out the book.
The book?
The computer.
The
computer, man.
Oh, computer, I'm missing self same way, but we're gonna see where can go on.
Jesus said, look like come from Bottom Road, Montego Bay.
Or a bottom pen. Just now, bottom pen, me hear about it, you know. One place I'm going to be in bottom pen.
Boy.
Where does the Duckland come from?
Yeah. Duckland, watch it, you know. Yeah. But a man school Duckland go, man, Herbert Morrison, man. Them know him come talk. Herbert Morrison, Herbert Morrison come go. And I'm the other day, then
Yo, Jason, you might get Herbert. I'm full of attacks.
I'm full of, yeah. I am full of attack. And then I see when I talk about him a wicket keeper and I catch him much ball until all him risk swell up. Eh? Look like your lows. You can't win this.
Yo, look like ricochet.
Yeah. I never know say so. I never know say so wicket keeping hard because him from kneel down and I catch the ball and him hold him hand and him finger them swell up. Because every time he hold on for the ball, he must feel pain in the wrist. Because that thing they want and then he must come in here with his style. Go on, we are going to do clan. I love people make them talk.
You got Herbert Marshall full of a superstar.
Wicked keeper.
No, sir. Do clan. Take a time out there.
Hey. Cricket in that talk about soccer. You see, you go play cricket. Nobody can try to twist it up, but a soccer you go play. A cricket, you say you go play. And you that the wicket keeper, you say you never know. So wicket keeping so difficult ball. Because you bend down and catch ball whole day. And that you say so.
Blaze the fire for him, man.
Oh, you mean fire! Oh, you DYCR fire!
He's fire! With them a banana or a platinum sucker. Yo!
Yeah.
Ja.
Duckland said it.
Duckland nice up back place them.
I feel style that bad. I feel style. See, so when you link up the triple treat, you do it after.
We don't know. As me I say we have to go talk, you know, because I swear we can't go on.
That was a long time.
Me we talk though.
Yeah, man. Because we talk one week. A long time I not to do a show at night. Nighttime them tough with the family. Me I tell you, brother.
Yeah, man. We have to lock in sometimes.
Sometimes man, I don't understand that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. But we're there. You understand me?
Yeah, man.
I know. Yeah,
all
man.
right.
All right, then means.
All right, big up yourself, man.
Yeah, man. Duckland. Oh, no. Hey, people, big up for yourself, you know. There's a freestyle at the end of the show. Big up, man, like means, you know. Under pressure at night time. Nobody try to change your argument. You think you're smart? Don't bother try to change your argument. You think you're smart? Don't bother try to change your argument. But people, listen, big up on yourself, you know, man. Big up on yourself. You understand me? As you go, thanks to thanks to Miguel. Miguel drop a super sticker earlier, $4.99. Big up yourself, Miguel. Orion, Mark, respect. You understand me? Not familiar with the name, big up yourself. And God bless every time, you know. Titus, big up yourself, man. Yeah, man. Every time. You understand me? Appreciate it. Appreciate the love from all of you. Appreciate all the likes, the shares, the subscriptions. You understand me? Big up. Good Super Friday. You understand what I mean? Good show. Yeah. Yeah, man. Peter Mystic, you know the thing, man. How you mean, man? Yeah, man. That's the thing there. But people no bless up on themselves, you know. From Baggio, the first person with a comment today, to Peter, the last comment that I'm seeing right now. Lots of love and lots of respect to every single one of you. I am Mannings, man. This is I Am Sure Sports, and as usual, when it gets to the end of the program, you know how we roll. We say we are over. We are out of here.
Yo, watch about dog. SK New Artist. The body out there. Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Ocho Race, Galtigo Bay. Everywhere. I Am Sure Sports. Check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like? Ha, yeah. Someone on for the food from young, from where they knee height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.